but we initiate an invocation to understand the harmony of silences and the possibilities of blended spoken words as we observe the DAV Literature and Career Conclave 4.0 Sahityaarpan The Mirror of Literary Competitions. Now, as we stand at the threshold of this remarkable occasion, the lamp of knowledge and wisdom awaits our ignition. I deem it an honor to invite all the day's dignitaries to kindle the holy lamp to seek divine blessings and dispel darkness. Ma'am and sir, please. I request our esteemed principal sir to escort today's dignitaries on stage.
Subham karoti kalyanam arogyam dhana sampada satruvridhi vinasaya dikayoti namaste dikam yoti param brahma dikam yoti janardana diko hartu me papam diko yoti namastute kadachit kalim dikata vipina sangeeta karamo mudabhiri nari badana kamala swada madhupa rahasambhor brahmasurapati ganesha chitapado जगन्नाथ स्वामी नैन पथगामी ओम विश्वानि देव सवित दुरितानि पराशुभ यभद्रं प्रणामः ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
Thank you, sirs. I request you to kindly remain on stage in reference to the DAV gun. I request everybody to rise in reverence for the DAV gun.
सलिल सदैव ज्ञान प्रदायिनी ज्योतिर्मय हो चहु दिशि उद्घोष अभय धीरे भी जय जय धीरे भी जय जय प्रबल प्रवाहमयी नित्य नूतन जीवन दायिनी सदा सनातन वेद प्रणीता परम पुनीता हे धारा अक्षय धीरे भी जय जय धीरे भी जय जय दयानंद से प्रेम भक्ति ले हंसराज से त्याग शक्ति ले धर्म भक्ति का राष्ट्र शक्ति का हो दिन मान उदय धीरे भी जय जय धीरे भी जय जय सुख समृद्धि इसकी लहरे प्रेम शांति इसके तट ठहरे सघन शांतिमय प्रबल कांतिमय लिए अटल निश्चय दिए भी जय जय, दिए भी जय जय।
I thank our distinguished luminaries and request them to kindly adorn their seats. Every great beginning carries the weight of purpose and the promise of transformation. The height of a nation's literature indicates the height of a country's character. It being the best mirror of the society reflects not only the material advancement and civilization, but also speaks about our spiritual, intellectual, and cultural progress. It trains the best mirrors of the society, fostering intellectual dialogue and providing a dynamic platform for writers and readers. By bringing together a diverse community, these events transform the solitary act of reading into a shared cultural experience. Standing at the threshold of this grand occasion, we are truly honored to have a stellar lineup of esteemed guests today. Who have navigated this intriguing literary offer. Our affable greetings to each one of you who has adorned this ceremony with your benign presence. I accord my warmest welcome to our present Chairman Sir, Shri Madan Mohan Panda, retired IAS, Honorable Chairman of SMC, for his visionary leadership, who has always been a guiding force for the growth and success of our school. Your presence here today, sir, amplifies the significance of this gathering, and we thank you for your benign presence. Here, we also have our principal, our beloved principal, sir, Balram Mahapatra, is the host of the principal's school. A warm welcome to all the academic supervisors, teachers of our institution whose efforts shape the very foundation of this institution. We also extend a warm and cordial welcome to our beloved students, the heart and soul of this very institution and the true leaders of tomorrow. It's my honor and privilege to introduce the esteemed chief guest of the occasion, an illustrious personality, eminent writer, poet, author and motivator, Dr. Goparanjan Mishra. After pursuing his education from Ravenshaw Collegiate School, Ravenshaw College, Cuttack, Utkal University, Bhubaneswar, and after completing his Masters in English, Sir has also served in various colleges. Sir retired as the principal of JKBK Government College, Cuttack. Sir has been writing poems in English for the last 4 decades and has recited most of the poems to learned audiences in different parts of the country. Sir has been widely acclaimed for the simple themes. Dr. Mishra has also worked on Indian English fiction for his PhD and has presented papers at different universities. Sir has also translated some of the stories in Odia, composed by Tagore, Ruskin Bond, Anton Chekhov, Khushwant Singh, and others. Sir's latest translated work in English is Jagannath Prasad Das's novel Sayan. At present, Sir is translating into English selected poems of the distinguished poet and the filmmaker Gulzar. Presently, Dr. Mishra is associated as a guest faculty with the Department of English, Utkal University and Central University of Orissa, Koraput. Sir's exemplary leadership in the field of education serves as an inspiration to all of us. Sir Your valued presence not only adds grace, warmth, and brilliance to this ceremony, but also uplifts the spirit of the literature conclave today, making this gathering truly special. We are truly honored and indebted by your gracious presence, sir. Namaskar, sir. We are indeed delighted to have amongst us another stalwart personality, Dr. Lalit Narayan Rath, Chairman cum Managing Director of Mazat Transport Private Limited, Mazat Media Private Limited and Mazat Constructions Private Limited, steering businesses in transport, media and infrastructure. Dr. Rath is a multifaceted personality and entrepreneur, advocate, lyricist and cultural icon whose life journey blends innovation, leadership and service to society. With over 3 decades of experience, Dr. Rath has also served as a port officer at Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited, that is Bbsr, gaining valuable expertise in operations, trade and administration. Beyond entrepreneurship, Dr. Rath has earned acclaim as one of the Odisha's most respected lyricists. His creation in Odia cinema and music have resonated with audiences across India and abroad. Sir has been entrusted with numerous honorary roles, serving as lifetime mentor and advisor for Odia Jatra lovers, Samvedana, empowering empathy, Nikhila Odisha, Swachha Sevi Mahasangha and Jatra Sanskruti Suraksha Mancha. Sir's achievements and credentials are endless. Dr. Rath's unwavering vision and multifaceted contributions to the society make him a true icon whose legacy will continue to guide and inspire generations to come. We are truly honored to have you amongst us, sir. Today, we are graced by the presence of another dynamic personality too, whose life and work illuminate the path of excellence. Dr. Sahityaarpan The Dav, sir, the Vice Chancellor of Vedic University, Tiruvannamalai, Tamil Nadu. Before I speak further about Sir's achievements and endless credentials, I would invite Samila Madam to do the needful. Ma'am, over to you.
धन्यवाद सविता मैडम। जगन्नाथ संस्कृति विशेषज्ञ, ओडिशा भाषा प्रतिष्ठान प्राक्तन निर्देशक तथा वर्तमान तिरुवन्नामलाई तमिलनाडु वैदिक विश्वविद्यालय कुलपति डॉक्टर हरिहर कानूनगो कृति और कीर्ति कालीचाए प्रकाश कर सुजोग पाई मुझे धन्य मन करुच्ची। डॉक्टर हरिहर कानूनगो एकाधारे जड़े प्राबंधिक, गवेषक, संकलक, संपादक, संगठक और समालोचक भाव समग्र ओडिशा तथा भारत वर्ष में सुपरिचित। ओडिशार इतिहास, साहित्य और संस्कृति विशेषकर श्री जगन्नाथ संस्कृति उपरे मौलिक गवेषणा करी से 7टी गवेषणाधर्मी ग्रंथ रचना करी निजर स्वतंत्र परिचय सृष्टि करि परिछन्ति। ओडिया भाषा प्रतिष्ठान निर्देशक भाव कार्यरत थिबा समय ओडिया भाषा साहित्य शास्त्रीय मान्यता प्राप्तिर परिकल्पना, प्रस्तुति, अग्रगति और सफलता हासिल क्षेत्र में प्रमुख भूमिका निर्वाह करी ओडिशा सरकार तथा जनसाधारण द्वारा प्रशंसित होइछन्ति। यह व्यतीत ओडिया विश्वविद्यालय स्वतंत्र कर्तव्यरत अधिकारी भावे मासे कार्य करी ओडिया विश्वविद्यालय लोगो प्रस्तुति सहित ओडिया भाषा संबंधी मौलिक पाठ्यपुस्तक प्रस्तुति भली बहु गुरुत्वपूर्ण कार्य हासिल क्षेत्र में से अग्रणी भूमिका निर्वाह करिछन्ति। ओडिशा साहित्य अकादमी पक्षरु 2024 नवेम्बर मासरे 940 पृष्ठ व्यापी विवर्तन में ओडिया भाषा संबंधी एक गवेषणाधर्मी प्रबंध से वर्तमान कार्यरत। यह व्यतीत इंग्राजी एवं ओडिया 500 ऊर्ध्व लोकप्रिय प्रबंध एवं शताधिक गवेषणाधर्मी प्रबंध ओडिशा तथा भारतर विभिन्न पत्र पत्रिका प्रकाशित समाज संवाद समय धरित्री सूर्यप्रभा सर्वसाधारण और नीतिदिन आदि दैनिक खबर कागज रे ओडिया भाषा साहित्य संस्कृति और विभिन्न समस्या धर्मी लेखा स्तंभ आकार नियमित प्रकाश होई आसुछि। डॉक्टर कानूनगो कटकर उत्कल साहित्य समाज उत्कल पाठक संसद सारला साहित्य संसद आजीवन सक्रिय सदस्य अछंती। यह व्यतीत श्री अच्युत साहित्य गवेषणा परिषद अध्यक्ष पुरी श्री गुंडीचा चेतना प्रतिष्ठान परामर्शदाता एवं ओडिशा स्वाभिमान विचार मंच अध्यक्ष तथा सभापति भाव कार्य करि आसुछंती। प्रतिवर्ष महाप्रभु श्री जगन्नाथ विश्व प्रसिद्ध स्नान यात्रा रथ यात्रा बहुड़ यात्रा सुनावेश अधरपणा और नीलाद्रि विजय ओटीवी ईटीवी कलिंग टीवी कनक टीवी आदि अनेक चैनल रे महाशय आकाशवाणी कटक आदि प्रत्यक्ष धारा विवरणी प्रदान करि आसुछंती। यह व्यतीत ओडिशार इतिहास साहित्य संस्कृति परंपरा धर्म दर्शन ओषाव्रत जानी यात्रा और पर्वपर्वाणी संबंधी विभिन्न विषय और वितर्क टीवी चैनल रे स्टूडियो आलोचना रे नियमित भाग नहीं आसुछंती। डॉक्टर कानूनगो जड़े बहुमुखी प्रतिभा संपन्न योग्य दक्ष अभिज्ञ सच्चोट स्वाभिमानी लेखक साहित्यिक गवेषक भाषाविद और प्रशासक भावे बेस जनाशुना। यह छड़ा महाशयंकर पुरस्कार तालिका खूब लंबा जेपरी मुक्ति मंडप सम्मान 1987 बोधिचक्र सम्मान 2024 साहित्य प्रभा सम्मान 2019 लेखक प्रतिभा सम्मान 2020 भाषा भारती सम्मान 2019 एवं 20 फकीर मोहन सम्मान 2021 बैशाखी भारती सम्मान 2023 उत्कल सौरभ सम्मान 2024 एपरी अनेक तेणु एपरी जड़े दिग्गज को आम गहण में पाई समस्ते धन्य मन करूँ। एठारे उपस्थित समस्त विज्ञ विचारक विज्ञ व्यक्तिगण को आम स्कूल तरफ सम्मान जणाइवा सहित एठी वेलकम स्वागत जणाउछि।
Thank you, ma'am. With voices that blend in perfect harmony and hearts that beat with joy and pride, now our talented students are all set to extend a warm and musical welcome to our esteemed guests. Let us revel in a sweet symphony of youthful voices as the students present a welcome song, cherishing the excellence and camaraderie that defines the school community. Over to you, sir.
स्वागतम शुभ स्वागतम स्वागतम अतिथि गीतरे साहित्य संस्कार साधुगहणा जीवने साहित्य
Amen.
on stage the heart and soul of our school, our esteemed chairman sir, Shri Madan Mohan Panda, to address the gathering with his divine words and declare the conclave open. Sir, please, at the same time, I request our assistant school leader to escort sir on stage.
I declare the Sahityaarpan 2025 the career conclave. The dear literature and career conclave will be Sahityaarpan and open. That there are many farmers attending this conclave. They will participating and enlightening and various aspects of the conclave, that the type topics that will be discussed, the careers of the eminent writers, and what they have contributed to society, they will be discussing. And finally, it will be concluded. So till then, please wait patiently and avais the function all success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words are not just blessings, they are the wind beneath our wings, urging every heart in this hall to soar high beyond the horizon of possibilities. As we proceed with deep reverence, I now invite our esteemed principal sir, Sri Balram Mahapatra, our mentor, our bride, to grace the stage and address the gathering with his astounding words. Sir, please, at the same time, I request the Cultural Secretary to escort Sir on stage. Sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, students. Very good morning to all of you. Our Chairman, School SMC, Sutta Madan Mohan Panda, Chief Guest of the day, Professor Gopalandra Mishra, eminent writer, author, distinguished guest Professor Hariyal Kalungo, Vice Chancellor, Durbalapalli, Tamil Nadu. Distinguished guest, Dr. Lalit Nararatha, eminent lyricist, an entrepreneur, and what not. The associates of Ratha sir, my dear students and esteemed teachers. Today morning in the assembly I was discussing about vocal for local. Means how we give emphasis on our local culture, local ideas, everything for the local. That's why all the eminent personnel here, we are given here, that means to give emphasis on our mother tongue, our local language. And in particular, we are given this literature named as Sahityaarpan. My dear students, we gather here to celebrate the power of literature, fostering a love for reading, writing, and critical thinking. As nowadays the reading habits, writing habits of the students are very, very less if we compare to the past years. This technology taken all the things from all of us, the reading habits, writing habits. How shortly with the help of beta or AI, we ask them to write something for me, so my creativity is not there. So this literature conclave is the brainchild of Bbsr New Delhi, our head office, to promote the budding talents. They should write by own, whatever they write, and increase the reading habits, and from 0 to some minute at least. So this conclave will inspire everyone, eminent dignitaries here, they will guide, which they will inspire you. Their path, how they are the great person in the field of literature, and they will guide all our students. They should take a lot of initiative to improve their internal talents, and they should expose the talents also in different forums. Let it be in the different media or printing media or electronic media. This conclave at the same time bring the togetherness of students, teachers, and all the dignitaries. I encourage our students to actively participate in this literature conclave. In the presence of all the district dignitaries, and explore the world of literature. Let this platform inspire you all to become a thoughtful writers, discerning readers, and lifelong learners. So three things I will advise to all my students and all the distinguished give the inputs. One is in case the reading habit, you have the talent, start writing and learn wherever you can. And be a good lyricist if you have the talents. I wish that this conclave will be a grand success with all the students' cooperation. I look forward this creative discussion and debates and open mic systems that will be unfold in this literature conclave. And this is not a platform for the students, this is a platform also for the all the teachers, all the staffs, those who have interest in literature. They can also present their own creativity in this platform. This is a platform, open platform for you all. You have the talent, come here. Let everyone recognize you. This is, I can say, recognition platform for you all. And this platform can boost you, can give you a big platform in future. Thank you all. Monday Utkarjana.
Thank you, sir, for your profoundly inspiring words. Your wisdom has truly ignited our minds and spirits. In the world of birds, where dreams take form, where ink breathes life and ideas transform. With immense delight, we now move on to one of the most anticipated segments of our literature conclave, a celebration of art, imagination, and expression. Today, we gather not just to listen, but to feel, to witness how words can dance, stories can sing, and creativity can unite hearts. Let's step into this symphony of thoughts guided by the spirit of literature, and to help us guide with the further proceedings, may I now invite our young and adorable students Angelina and Sibra to take over for the further proceedings. Over to you, children. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. We truly believe literature is not just written, it is lived, shared, and felt. Namaskar and good morning to everyone. This is Angelina Mia.
This is Shipra.
We are here to take you on a breathtaking saga where culture meets literary wisdom.
The Literary Conclave is a celebration of words, ideas, and imagination, where young minds explore the beauty of language, the power of expression, and the art of storytelling. The Literature Conclave inspires every participant as well as the audience who equally seem to resonate by its impact to read, reflect, and rise.
So, with all our hearts,
We welcome you all to the Newly United Literature and Theatre Conclave, Sahityaarpan. Hey, I was going through the newspaper. The markets hit an all-time high yet again. Political debates has intensified a situation which has already in shambles. The most awaited global summits ended disagreement.
same pattern every day. Headlines screaming everywhere, but hotlines nowhere to be found.
Exactly. All we hear about are markets, wars, and politics. But what about the stories of hope, peace, and humanity?
Maybe that's what makes our first performance so special.
Why so? What is this performance about?
Our friends went beyond headlines into the world of ideas and came back with a series of broadcasts that sells no product but a promise and a purpose. A purpose purpose to remind us that stories can heal, connect, and inspire. They are not about what divides the world, but about what unites it. This performance is sure to move hearts as it accommodates assets like international, national, and local news, and of course panel discussion, followed by news anchoring and weather forecasting.
Beautifully said. I'm already excited, and I'm sure the audience is excited too. So, with claps of encouragement, let's welcome Bbsr and Ananya Panda to take us on this thought-provoking journey. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bbsr. I'm Ananya, and we welcome you all to KGN, where we bring you the latest, most accurate, and relevant news from around the world. Stay with us as we cover breaking stories, in-depth reports, and stories that matter to you. Let's begin. First of all, international news. The Gaza war is a fierce confrontation between Israel and Gaza, rooted in the long-standing and unresolved Israel-Palestinian conflict, a tragic continuum of tension, territorial turmoil equal since the 20th century. US President Donald Trump detailed his tariff strategy against BRICS, claiming the bloc was against the dollar and saying countries were dropping out.
India is strong enough to withstand Trump's tariff shock, says Central University Register. India's share in US imports stands at just 2.8%, and US is one of its lowest trade deficits with India. The rise of US tariffs from 10% to 50% can lower India's GDP by up to 1 percentage point. Overall GDP growth could decline by 0.2% to 0.5%, with forecasts revised from 6.5% to as low as 6%. Amid hijab law in Kerala, Minister climbed down on a CPM balancing act. The school authorities had insisted that allowing the hijab was against the uniform and management and interim order of the High Court. The hijab law at a Christian school in Kerala saw twist after CPI leader and education minister climbed down from his earlier directive that a Muslim student is to be allowed to wear hijab to school. Let us move to the studio now for panel discussion. I would like to invite the moderators as well as the panelists to present their opinions. Let us welcome them with a thunderous round of applause.
Good morning and welcome to our panel discussion on global conflicts, trade wars in India and the world. This is me, Sahityaarpan, and with me is my co-moderator, Ananya. Today, we'll be steering you through insightful discussions.
Thank you, Daksha. The world today faces wars not only of weapons but economics as well. From the Israel-Palestine war shaking up the geopolitics to the US tariff wars reshaping trade. Each and every action has its impact and even on the Indian economy. So today we will guide you through these crucial issues with our brilliant panelists.
So let's invite our distinguished panelists for the day. We have Prakti Padinita, Director of Middle Eastern Studies, Institute of Global Peace and Policy.
Following her, we have Arpita Behra, the Executive Director of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries.
Let us welcome her with a thunderous round of applause.
Then we have Ivana Batra, Senior Policy Advisor, Ministry of Finance, Government of India.
moderator. Good morning, one and all present over here. The suffering today in Gaza is one of the biggest human crises of our time. Israel's military operation to claim to target Hamas has been repeatedly violating the international humanitarian law by failing to distinguish between the militants and the civilians. The United Nations and the various human rights group report have stated that various residential areas, schools, hospitals and colleges claimed to be reproductive status have been bombed by the Israel militant army. Over 34,000 of Palestinians, including thousands of women and children, have been killed, and 90% of the Gaza population faces the food insecurity. Let me be very clear, ladies and gentlemen, supporting Gaza is never supporting Hamas. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. That was quite insightful. Prapti, building on that, what are your views on the international response to this conflict?
As per my opinion, Israel, a democratic country, has struggled enough to secure peace while defending its people from continuous threats and violence. It has every right to defend its people. On October 7, 2023, Hamas launched over 3,000 missiles into Israel, killing over 1,200 civilians and taking more than 250 hostages. How could a country stay silent after such a brutal attack? Israel's fight is not against the people of Gaza, but against Hamas, a terrorist organization that hides behind civilians, uses colleges, schools, and hospitals to store weapons and turns innocent lives into shields. Between all this plannings and politics, the civilians are the ones who suffer the most. Now, let us have a look onto the economy of Israel as well. The Israel-Hamas war has significantly strained the Israeli economy. For this, I would like to present the statistics for a much clearer picture. In 2024, Israel's military spending increased by 65%, reaching to $46.5 billion, the second highest percentage of GDP in the world. The budget deficit ballooned to 6.8% of GDP in 2024, the highest since COVID-19. Unemployment spiked in October 2023 to about 9.6%. The agriculture and tourism sector were severely affected. Unlike its enemy, Israel warns the civilian before strikes, sends evacuation alerts, and opened routes for humanitarian needs. Even while defending itself, Israel still shows humanity. Israel has endured over more than 25,000 rockets in less than a year, yet it still calls for peace. But peace cannot exist when terror continues to fire. It's no doubt that Israel still seeks peace, but how can peace come at the cost of security? Israel does not fight to conquer, it fights to survive.
Valuable points, Prapti. It is indeed evident that war isn't only about land. It's about politics, power, as well as the future of peace in the Middle East.
Indeed, and with that, we move from a political battlefield to an economic one. Trade has been America's biggest tool for global influence. Recently, tariffs have been imposed for protection of the domestic industries. Shresh, what are your thoughts on this? What are the trade landscapes that are affected?
Thank you, Daksha. While the stated goal of US tariff is to protect domestic industry and jobs, any positive impacts are often offset by negative consequences for the global economy and for the US itself. With the recent tariffs by Donald Trump on most of the countries, the economy has dropped by about 2.3%, while some might argue that tariffs can lead to an increased certainty for businesses that can adapt and a potential for certain countries to benefit from trade diversion, while the overall global impact is negative, leading to slower growth, higher prices and economic instability for many. Potential positives of these tariffs are that they generate revenue for the US government, but at a massive cost for the world economy. The negatives often outweighing the positives, which only benefit the US government itself.
however, leading to a slight decline in the world economy. The positives also include trade diversification for countries not subjected to these tariffs, to expand their markets in the US, increasing both their trade market and the revenue for the US government. This controversial decision by Trump is like a double-edged sword. This, though benefiting the US production, leads to disrupted trade chain. The higher tariffs, which increase the cost of imported goods, overall increases prices for US consumers. Trade taxes add a burden to global growth, which leads to uncertainty, slowing down economic growth worldwide, and has a disproportionately negative effect on developing economies. This also reduces competitiveness by leading to an increase in the price of intermediate goods, which reduces the influence of exporting firms globally. Impact of the US tariffs on the world economy is complex. While they may offer some benefits such as more stable environment for businesses to plan and a potential trade diversification for some countries, the broader consensus is that tariffs have a net negative effect on the economy.
Those are some interesting points to have, Shresh. Ayushi, just like Shresh, many other economists argue that while the US tariff policy strengthens the US economy, it disrupts the entire global economy. What is your take on this debate?
Thank you, Anvesha, for inviting me to present my insights. As we know, United States of America is one of the largest economies in the world. Its trade policies affect the global market. Tariffs are taxes imposed on imported goods, and when USA imposes them, prices of foreign goods increase in their market. This helps the American producers by eliminating competition because their goods are now the cheaper ones in the market. One important effect of this US tariffs is the lower economic growth faced by exporters like China, India and Mexico. I would like to present some stats that has been reported by OECD, which states that the average US tariff rate has increased from about 2.5% when the recent administration took office to over 15% by May 2025, an extent which has not been seen since the late 1930s. Because of these trade barriers, the OECD predicts that the US economic growth will likely fall to 1.6% in 2025, which was 2.8% in 2024. And the global economic growth rate is also supposed to fall to 2.9%. Another such consequence is inflation. The IMF states that the world consumer prices are supposed to raise to 4.3% in 2025. And this is partly because of the US tariffs and other trade-related disruptions. Apart from this, the trade practices and volumes have also been changing. China, which is one of the largest exporters of any said commodity, has been doing less trade with USA. And the developing countries are being hardly hit by it because most of them face tariff of over more than 25% than the former levels, while China itself also faces more than 100% tariff on most of its goods. So to sum it up, I would like to say that though these tariffs may or may not have a direct impact on the global economy, in the long run, these may lead to fuel inflation and also economic hardships that spread across the world.
Thank you both. Now we have all been clear that the US tariffs, while protecting one side, creates ripples that affects the nations from Europe to Asia.
Absolutely. And one such nation that felt its impact is India. Despite the global slowdowns and tariff wars, India remains to be one of the fastest and major growing economies. Arpita, how do you think that these tariff changes in the globe have affected the Indian GDP and the export sector?
Thank you, Anvesha, for letting me present my views on the topic. America is one of India's biggest trade partner. Biggest market of steel for India has now started to affect its trade by imposing tariffs. They are threatening India's USD 434 billion export with 87 billion directed to US, equivalent to 2.5% of India's GDP. Industry estimates a 0.2 to 0.5% decline in GDP, with forecast revised from 6.5% to 6 as low as 6%. The sectors like small and medium enterprises, which dominate textiles and leather, are facing reduced competitiveness against rivals in Vietnam and Bangladesh, where tariffs are lower. Additionally, sectors like jewelry, apparel, leather, textiles, footwear, marine products, etc., which make up over 55% of India's export, are placed at high risks from the tariff hike. The Indian rupee has weakened offshore, raising concern about import inflation and increased borrowing costs for debt-laden companies. Import rate increase, inflation increase, lower consumer demand, raise in government revenue, discouragement in foreign investments, and slower growth in GDP. The reason, the tariff hike.
Thank you, Arpita. Ivana, all these US tariffs, all these, do they actually benefit India? What's your take on this?
Thank you, Darsha. In my opinion, the narrative that US tariffs are a massive headwind to India's GDP often fails to account for the overall economic development. Yes, I won't deny the fact that the US tariff imposed are very serious and pressurize some specific oriented sectors such as textiles and other components. But let's look at a bigger picture. First, we have India's strategic export sectors, that is the pharmaceuticals supplying nearly 50% generics to US. And not forgetting about the IT sectors, which have remained resilient till date. This high value-added industry continues to thrive. Second, India is domestically driven. In fact, the major institution like IMF has recently revised India's GDP growth forecast upwards to 6.6%, implying that our strong domestic performance is rapidly offsetting the impact of the imposed US tariff. Furthermore, the primary aim was on the complex supply chain recalibration involving China, not the structural dismantling of India's trade. And our economy is fundamentally driven to internal demands and consumption, not exports. Statistics shows that India's private expenditure is very high, ranging from 56.7% to 61.4%, whereas India's export ratio is only 22%, and to US, it's only around 2% to country's GDP. Government initiatives like PLI schemes, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Made in India schemes has reduced the dependence on import and boosted our economy. So I'd like to say that exporters might feel the pinch, but US tariffs are just a localized challenge that we have already tackled in the past since independence, not a threat to our 6.6% plus story growth.
Thank you, Ivana. It is really encouraging to see that India is adopting policy reforms and self-reliance initiatives to stand strong amidst the global tension.
Well, we have truly seen how interconnected our world truly is. A war at one end of the world can strike oil prices, trade reforms, economy thousands of miles away.
True, it is really interesting to see how war in one region is affecting another. We see that the Israel-Palestine war, the US tariffs and Indian economic resilience stands not only for these few nations but the whole global economy.
Hence, we have come to the end of our discussion. We have truly seen how the world looks like. With this, I'd like to thank our esteemed panelists for the day and especially the audience for our patient hearing. Stay alert, stay informed, stay safe. A very happy Diwali. That's all from the end of
Before going to the next segment of headlines, let us have a short break. away from me a few days ago. His family is in real difficulty. They don't have enough money to pay off the hospital bills, and on top of that, they have a lot of debts to clear out. Oh no, can we access it?
That's really heartbreaking. I feel really sorry about their loss and what they are going through. But how will your family survive now?
अगर वो SLI का इंश्योरेंस लेते तो शायद आज ये दिन देखना नहीं पड़ता. He should have taken the insurance.
You are right. Life is pretty unpredictable. It's really important to have a life insurance. I do have one.
I too have a life insurance to secure myself and my family.
Mrs. Das, इस आदमी को देखिए.
जिंदगी चली गई है, हाथ में एक टूटी कौड़ी नहीं है, स्वर्ग को सारे पैसे लेकर चली ही गई.
आज इनकी लापरवाही की वजह से दर दर की ठोकरें खाए हैं.
तो आप इनकी तरह लापरवाही ना करके SLI का लाइफ इंश्योरेंस जरूर लेना, क्योंकि ये है जिंदगी के साथ भी
और जिंदगी के बाद भी.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let us now begin with state news.
That was a series of incidents of violence and public disorder that took place in Cuttack in early October 2025. The classes began during Durga Puja, Idol immersion, processions in Durga Balkan Academy. The imposition of curfew orders and temporary suspension of internet service across the city. Corrupted police snapped ties in cannabis smuggling case informed NSA against notorious criminal.
Now let us look into a couple of success stories that brought laurels for our school. Firstly, our students Anshita Shukla from class 10 and Sri Rashmi Paryar Singh from class 9 have brought great pride to us by emerging as winners in the debate competition which was organized on 23rd of August 2025 by Nirbhaya Media Group. Sri Rashmi bagged first position with a cash prize of 3,000 rupees and Anshita bagged third position with a cash prize of 1,000 rupees. They were felicitated by our Honorable Chief Minister Mohan Sharmaji at the Mayfair Lagoon. Secondly, our students participated in the Modern United Nations recently held at the Exile University and brought great pride for our school. Priyam Priyadarshi was honored as the best speaker and Shriman Mishra received the award for being the best delegate. Amrita Chauhani showcased her creativity by winning in the live poster making competition.
Moving forward to sports news, world champion Lee Bouquet plumped to a third successive defeat, losing to 16 years Pakistan master at the Scribble. Pakistan ends South Africa 10-match winning streak with 93-run victory in first test.
Before we proceed to the final segment, that is weather forecast, let us have a short break.
a festival of lights, a symbol of hope in the darkest of nights. Bursting of crackers may seem enjoyable, but it's a poison for our environment. What we see is the cracker light up beautifully, what we choose to ignore is the nasty smoke it leaves behind. And the loud noises tend to hurt our ears a lot. They're also hazardous. Burning crackers also leads to accidents that leads to terrible burns. And the smoke leads to chronic diseases like bronchitis and asthma. For such a pitiful pleasure, we harm so many people. What do we get from it? Crackers may light up for a moment, but good actions can light up the world everlastingly. For the time being, avoiding to burn crackers is a great way to start a greener Diwali. For our own good and the world's sake, we must do our best to protect our environment. Silence is golden, light is divine, a greener Diwali to truly shine. Happy Diwali to all. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Lastly, weather report. Sankar Parik is all set to brief you about today's weather forecast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sankar Parik from the ABKG Live, and today I bring you the latest weather forecast. Starting with the capital city of India, Delhi. Delhi shall receive a maximum temperature of 24 degrees Celsius with a minimum temperature of 23 degrees Celsius. The winter morning shall give you a chill, but don't worry, by evening it will calm down. Now, moving on to the metropolitan city of Mumbai. Mumbai shall have a maximum temperature of 34 degrees Celsius with a minimum temperature of 29 degrees Celsius. The maximum rainfall chances are 30%, and more importantly, you will have a sunny day, so get your sunscreens ready for you can have a good tan in your head. Now moving on to the state of West Bengal for the capital city Kolkata. The capital city shall receive a maximum temperature of 32 degrees Celsius with a minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. The precipitation chances are 27%, and right now you can enjoy a great fish today. Now moving on to the market of Odisha, the great state we all live in. The maximum temperature of the city is 34 degrees Celsius. By night, it shall fall down to 27 degrees Celsius. You shall have a mild, chilly morning, but by the evening, don't worry, you will have a great time to enjoy your breakfast and lunch. Now, that's all for today. With this, I would like to shine you, ladies and gentlemen, rise and shine, for the day is yours.
It is all from our KG Newsroom. Thank you for your patient hearing. Happy Diwali.
Wasn't it? Oh yes. I mean, what we saw wasn't just talk. It was a reflection of our thoughts. And it made me wonder, sometimes what we hear isn't always what is. Exactly. A huge round of applause for the team with this brilliant act. Quick question, Shivra. What connects every heart without needing translation? Easy, music, of course. Exactly. Music, the language every soul understands. Up next, we have a soulful rendition of Odia culture through the lens called music.
संगीत साहित्यर एक अभिच्छेद्य अंग एवं लोकगीत संगीतर एक विभाग जहाँकि वर्तमान लोकगीत भरी रही है मनीष मनर भावनार सरल अभिव्यक्ति लोकगीतर स्वर ताल और छंद मन आनंदित और रोमांचित होता है तेरे चलतु ना सही लोकगीत को नहीं ओडिया विभाग द्वारा प्रस्तुत अपसरा स्मृति भिन्न एक अनुभूति को संदर्शन करवा एवं सही मनमताणीय स्वर रे मजी जीवा
କବିବର ରାଧାନାଥ ରାୟଙ୍କ ଭାଷାରେ ଏହି ଉତ୍କଳ ଭୂମି ଭାରତ ପଦ୍ମର ଏକ ପାଖୁଡ଼ା, ଯାହାକି ଅପୁରନ୍ତ ପବିତ୍ର ସୌନ୍ଦର୍ଯ୍ୟର ଏକ ଭକ୍ତିପୂତ ସ୍ଥଳୀ। କପିଳ ସଂହିତାରେ ବର୍ଣ୍ଣିତ ଅଛି, ଏହି ଭାରତ ଭୂମି ପୃଥିବୀର ସର୍ବଶ୍ରେଷ୍ଠ ଦେଶ, ଯାହାର ଇଷ୍ଟପ୍ରାଣ ମହାପ୍ରଭୁ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ, ଯାହାର ସଂସ୍କୃତି ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ସଂସ୍କୃତି। स्वतंत्र परिचय ओडिया बोली आज आम गर्व करूँ हेले जहाँ श्रम जहाँ बलिदान जहाँ त्याग सेवार साधन ओडिशा आज स्वतंत्र ओडिशा समृद्ध ओडिशा सुंदर ओडिशा से तो आमर चिर नमस्या आम ओडिशार गर्व आउ गौरव आसतु समस्ते मिलमिशि पदवंदना करेंगे।
Conclave. Shipra, you're still as enthusiastic as ever, aren't you? Of course I am, especially when I know the enchanting performance that awaits us. Like, you must have listened to your grandmother reciting you historical stories of times of the benevolent Rama, the selfless Sita and filial Lakshman. Well, those were the days of Treta Yuga. Can you imagine? What if Sita, who is always known for her gentleness, compassion, to be born in Kalinga? Yes, a bold, fearless woman and a leader in her own right. Absolutely. Now we have one of our friends, Bbsr, take the stage as she strives to bring alive a different Sita with the coordination of the English department, the Sita of our year. Great. Audience, are you ready to witness courage and strength like never before? Here comes Sita, the warrior of Mithila.
The daughter of soil. But they forget the soil remembers everything. Every tear that fell, every step that trembled, every seed of courage buried in silence. Yes, I am Sita, but not the one you remember, not the quiet queen who obeyed, not the shadow behind the king. I am Sita, the warrior. My weapons, not swords, not arrows, but the truth, and the fire that refused to burn me. When flames rose around me, I heard them whisper, Agni hi Shakshi Bhavati. Fire shall be a witness. And I thought, let it be so. Let the fire know who I am. For men see what they wish to see, but the elements, they see the truth. They tested me once and again. Every round was a dagger, every silence a battle cry swallowed. And yet I stood. I fought wars unseen. The war of faith against fear, of dignity against disbelief, of womanhood against the world's measure of purity. They call Ram Yada Purushottam, the perfect man. Then what was I? A mirror to his virtue? No. I was his reflection sharpened by pain, his equal in courage, his superior in endurance. My strength was never born of anger. It was born of Shama, forgiveness, the calmest form of power. I was and will remain Sita, the warrior of Mithila, the protector of Dharma, the daughter of earth who rose above fire. These hands have built temples of hope, carried my sons to safety, and planted seeds where kingdoms fell. My wars were fought with grace, my victories written in silence. Yatra naryastu pujyate ramante tatra devata. Where women are honored, there the gods rejoice. So tell me, do gods still rejoice in the kingdoms of men? Or did they flee when your queens wept? I am no longer the Sita who waits. I am the Sita who rises. I carry within me the roar of every woman who was told to be good, to be quiet, to be small. This is my battlefield. My armor is my truth. I am Sita, born of the earth, forged in flame, crowned not by gold, but by the ash of everything I survive. Remember me not as the abandoned queen. Remember me as the warrior who walked through fire and became it. Thank you.
Goosebumps being performed by Apeksha. It wasn't just storytelling, it was awakening. This Sita reminded us that true strength isn't in silence, but in conviction. As we end the first segment of literary events, let's carry the spirit of Sita to think bravely, act justly, and stand firm in truth. We would now like to invite Sabita ma'am for further proceedings. Ma'am, please.
Indeed, it was a mesmerizing performance.
सभी गुणीजनों को एवं इस सभा में उपस्थित प्रत्येक गुणवानों को करबद्ध नमस्कार। साहित्यिक संगोष्ठी एवं केंद्रीय संगोष्ठी साहित्यार्पण के दूसरे चरण में आप सभी को पुनः स्वागत करना चाहूंगी। ये दोनों ही यथार्थ समाज में बहुत ही महत्व रखते हैं, क्योंकि एक नैतिक मूल्य, सामाजिक संस्कारों और ज्ञान का संचार करता है, वही वो समाज के दर्पण के रूप में कार्य करता है। ये सामाजिक विसंगतियों को उजागर करता है और परिवर्तन को प्रेरित करता है। ये साहित्य एक माध्यम है जिससे रचनात्मकता को बढ़ावा मिलता है, साथ साथ सांस्कृतिक विरासत को सुरक्षित करता रहता है। वहीं दूसरी ओर कैरियर संगोष्ठी में छात्र छात्राओं को विभिन्न कैरियर विकल्पों के बारे में जानकारी बहुत सुंदर ढंग से मिल जाती है, जिससे वो अपने आगे के जीवन की चुनाव और सही रास्ता ले पाते हैं। साहित्य की इस सुरक्षित वेला में इस पर और प्रकाश डालने के लिए मंच पर एक अद्भुत व्यक्तित्व को आमंत्रण करना चाहूंगी, जिनके विचारों की गहराई समंदर से कम नहीं है और जिनकी ज्ञान की रोशनी हजारों दीपक की चमक से भी तेज है। जी हाँ, वो है हमारे आदरणीय हरिहर कानूनगो सर जी। सर, कृपया हरिहर कानूनगो सर की आपकी प्रेरणादायी विचारों से हम प्रकाशित होने की आग्रह करते हैं। सर, कृपया मंच पर पधारें। जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत किया जाए। जोरदार ताली होनी चाहिए हरिहर सर जी।
नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेव महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। साहित्यिक सम्मेलन अध्यक्ष चेयरमैन युक्त मनमोहन पंडा महोदय, मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर गोपसुंदर मिश्र महोदय, आज अन्यतम सम्मानित अतिथि ललित नारायण रथ महोदय, डीएवी कलिंग नगर अध्यक्ष श्रीयुक्त बलराम महापात्र महोदय, ये विद्यालय सुनामधन्य शिक्षक शिक्षयित्री एवं प्रतिभान्वित समस्त छात्र छात्री मानू ये सेवक भविष्ठ प्रणाम। आज प्रथम पर्याय जो कार्यक्रमटी आज मंचस्थ है अभिनीत है प्रदर्शित है ताकू देखी आज बहुत अभिभूत पिलामानक भीतर जो श्रृंखला ज्ञान गुरु शिष्यर संपर्क एवं ये कली जुगे एकविंश शताब्दी विज्ञान जुगे पिलामानक भीतर जो बौद्धिक विकास प्रतिभा किभली विकास होची तार क्षेत्र होची प्रकृष्ट क्षेत्र डीएवी स्कूल कलिंग नगर। एटा मनीष तैयारी कारखाना। आज मोर अनुभव आसला शिक्षा बंची शिक्षक माने छात्र छात्री माध्यम शिक्षा को विकसित करने अंगीकारबद्ध प्रतिश्रुतिबद्ध। मो दीर्घ 39 वर्ष धरी उच्च शिक्षा विभाग प्रोफेसर अध्यक्ष निर्देशक ओडिया विश्वविद्यालय स्वतंत्र कर्तव्यरत अधिकारी एवं शेष उच्च शिक्षा विभाग अतिरिक्त शासन सचिव भाव में कार्य कर अवसर नेले मोर जो धारणा थिला से धारणा आज संपूर्ण बदली जाइए। स्कूल कलिंग नगर में पाद थापी आज जो कार्यक्रम देखिली भर जो संगीत विशेषज्ञ राजकिशोर बाबू जो कार्यक्रम आज परिचालित कले माँ माटी मातृभाषा सुरक्षा समृद्धि एवं जो लोक संस्कृति जो गीत भितर नृत्य भितर जो ओडिशा ऐतिह्य परंपरा संस्कृतिर जीवन संस्कृतिर विकास जो सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम परिवेशन कले मोर प्रिय छात्र छात्री माने निश्चित भाव में आगामी दिन में ओडिया भाषा साहित्य संस्कृतिर सुरक्षा गोटे माइल खुंट दिशा देखेब ये मात्र सन्देह अवकाश। बंधुगण आसंता काली एवं परदिन हूँ दीपावली दीपावली कथा कहले दिखेले ये दीपावली केवल एक महोत्सव नुहे। दीपावली हूँ एक आलोकर पर्व विवेकर पर्व विचार पर्व मनीष भीतर चेतना और उत्तरण में एक महान पर्व एवं काली पूजा एवं निकट अतीत आईशून्य शुक्ल षष्ठी ठार दशमी पर्यंत दुर्गा पूजा दशहरा गला एवं कार्तिक मास कृष्ण पक्ष अमावास्या जो दीपावली अमावास्या बोली आम कहूचे श्री जगज्जननी दीपावली माँ कालींकर आराधना एवं तापर आसो मार्गशीर मास लक्ष्मी महालक्ष्मी पूजा उपासना माघ मासरे माँ सरस्वती पूजा उपासना तेणु दुर्गा काली लक्ष्मी एवं सरस्वती ये होती आदि शक्तिर गोटे गोटे रूप। आज माँ मैंने आज जो मंच जो प्रकार कार्यक्रम अभिनय माध्यम कथा माध्यम आज जो जो डिबेट जो तर्क आलोचना होता है सुंदर भाव में इंग्रेजी भाषा माधुर्य सहित जो प्रकार भाव विनिमय कले अच्छे प्रोफेसर मिश्र गोपसुंदर मिश्र गोपनारायण मिश्र और से कहे अति चमत्कार भाव में परिवेश जो कले मु भावुची मोर भारत माता एवं उड़ीसा जो संतान संतति माने अछंती से माने हमर आगामी पीढ़ीर भविष्य एवं से माने भारत वर्ष को आहुरी आगे देबे एथिरे संदेह अवकाश नहीं। बंधुगण वर्तमान विद्यालय स्तर जो शिक्षा वर्तमान चली तार ढांचागत परिवर्तन आवश्यकता रही। आज जो लिटरेरी कॉन्क्लेव साहित्यिक समावेश आयोजन माध्यम केवल साहित्य को बचाई चेष्टा करूना। साहित्य हूँ गोटे कला, साहित्य हूँ गोटे विचार एवं अशी अर्थात खंडा अपेक्षा बसी बड़ कलम बड़ कलमर ताकत अशी ठार बहु गुण बढ़िया ए ज्ञान को परिप्रकाश करने डीएवी कलिंगनगर जो कार्यक्रम आयोजन करिसेंती ता निश्चित भाव में आम समस्त एक अभिनंदनीय पदक्षेप। बंधुगण आज साहित्य राशि राशि साहित्य सृष्टि होउची, प्रत्येक दिन साहित्य सृष्टि होउची। आपनकर टीवी पर्दारे जो सारा जुग ठारू आरंभ करी पंचसखा जुगर जो 5 जन कवि कलाम दास, जगन्नाथ दास, अच्युतानंद दास, जशवंत दास एवं अनंत वा शिशु अनंत दास जो राधानाथ कहले राधानाथ मधुसूदन फकीरमोहन गंगाधर गोपबंधु तापर जो आसुचंदी सत्यवादी जुगर पंचसखा सबुज जुगर पंचसखा एपरिक वर्तमान आधुनिक जुगर जेते सब कवि लेखक साहित्यिक नाट्यकार एकांकिका लेखक गल्प लेखक जो माने बाहर राशि राशि लेखा प्रकाश पाउची ताहा जनसाधारण हृदय को छुई पारु नहीं। मात्र 1-2% लेखा छुई पारुची अन्य लेखा छुई पारु नहीं। सेइपे आमे निकट अतीत रे गोटे योजनाबद्ध पत्रिका आमे प्रकाश करूछु हमर सत्य चेतना अनुष्ठान तरफ वैदिक विश्वविद्यालय तरफ सेतिर आमे मौलिक चिंतन लेखा को परिप्रकाश करबा पई स्थिर करिछु। यदि बीएम स्कूल रो छात्र बा छात्री माने बा शिक्षक शिक्षयित्री माने यदि लेखा देबा चाहिए आपण ओडिया विभाग अध्यापिका जो अच्छी प्रिंसिपाल महोदय अच्छे देवे मुझे मोर इमेल आईडी आप पठेबे एवं से लेखा बर्तमान 1500 कपि प्रकाशित होती सारा ओडिशा एवं ताहा इंग्रेजी अनुवाद सारा पृथ्वी विभिन्न देश को परिव्याप्त हो। आमे भल कथा कहूची, भल खाऊची, भल पिंधुची, भल घरे रहूची किंतु साहित्य कहीं प्रतिफलन होना कोठना कोठी त्रुटि विच्युत रहूची ताको परिवर्तन करबा दरकार, संशोधन करबा दरकार। सेइपे मोर विचार हो कि साहित्य कॉन्क्लेव बा साहित्य समावेश आयोजन साहित्यिक ही समाज को परिवर्तन करि परिबो, साहित्यिक ही समाज को नवा दिशा देखि परिबो, दिग्दर्शन देई परिबो। कारण हमर पूर्वसुरी माने जहा करि जाई छथि ताकू एवं आउ किछि जोड़ी साहित्य को एक समृद्ध साहित्य कालदयी साहित्य रे परिणत करि परिबा। मु एठी गोटे उत्तल घर मधुसूदनकर गोटे कथा कहबी तो मधुबाबू कही तुकड़ा बोला उत्कल संतान कविता कौन कही ना तुमने भाविचु तोषा मद करी बढ़ाइबु जाति मान तोषा मदियार कुकुर प्रकृति ऐठा पतरे ध्यान या कला भाषा किसी लेखा नहीं पारे। जाति नंदीघोष चढ़ब कि भाई स्वार्थ को सारथी कले टाणी किए गाड़ी दाना तोड़ा घोड़ा बहे बंधा। चिंता करूँ बर्तमान समाज गति कुआड़े साहित्य को परिवर्तन करने को चाहिए करिपारिबो किंतु सेही भली साहित्य होगा दरकार। प्रत्येक मनीष को जब गोटे बुलेट गुली बाजिला भली चिंता चेतना परिवर्तन करने आवश्यकता रही। ओएस टपर होगी लांच फसी चाकरी हरई जेल जीवे कहवा क्या कपाल सीना कर कथा अच्छी जगत केवल जने हसवे। तो वर्तमान समय आसी साहित्य माध्यम समाज को परिवर्तन करने कौन करने को पड़ो आज मु युवपीढ़ी का आगे एक प्रस्ताव रखुची तुमने निजर साधुता निजर सचोटता निजर निष्ठा एकाग्रता बल परिवर्तन करने आगे आसतु समाज आपको पूर्ण प्राण सहयोग कर प्रत्येक भितर जो आध्यात्मिक चेतनार उत्तरण घटो से मनीष अनुभव कर मुझे कौन मुझे कौन मुझे कौन मोर कौन करवा उचित कौन न करवा उचित यही ज्ञान प्रत्येक मनीष भितर आपे 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 सृष्टि तार एकमात्र विकल्प होगी साधना जो सत्य प्रत्येक मनीष भितर सत्यता रही आम जो प्रार्थना पढ़ुचे सत्य पथे धर्म पथे घेनी जाओ पथे भसाओ पराणंबर तब प्रेम स्रोते सत्य पथ होगी धर्म पथ धर्म पथ होगी विवेक पथ विवेक पथ होगी ज्ञान पथ ज्ञान पथ होगी कर्म पथ तेणु या मिसई देला आम जानूचे आम कर्म ही धर्म धर्म ही सत्य धन्यवाद जो सत्य पथ कथा मुझे सत्य पथरे जीवाटा बड़ कष्टकर सत्य मार्ग प्रत्येक मनीष एक जटिल मनीष चिंता चेतना को एभली भाव में परिप्रकाश करे सत्य मार्ग में परिचालित हुआ एक बड़ कष्टकर व्यापार किंतु आमको जावाक पड़ो कारण प्रत्येक मनीष जो 84 लाख जीव दे जो दुर्लभ मनीष में पाई हतादर कर उचित नुहे आज जीवन काली के नहीं मृत्यु अच्छी बोली जन्म अच्छी जन्म अच्छी बोली मृत्यु अच्छी मृत्यु बुझे नहीं बुढ़ा की भेंडिया जम देखे नहीं टंका मशाणी बुझे ना धनी की दरिद्र सत्य से दुई शिखा ठुंगुड़ा देहरे जन्म लभिछु ठुंगुड़ा तो जीव चली केते तू करूछु गर्व अहंकार शरीर तो माटी बाली तार कौन करिवे ना दान धर्म करी जीवन तो तू त्याग करी अहंकार मशाणी रे जेबे विदाय तू नेबु सुभूति जयकार सुभूति जयकार सुभूति जयकार जदि मृत्यु रही जे परिवार पे इच्छा करे जे मृत्यु को स्वागत करे मृत्यु को जे जीवन में भय कर नहीं सही होती प्रकृतिर अमृतर संतान कारण दिन ना दिन समस्ते मरिबा महाप्रभु जगन्नाथ मध्य मृत्युवरण करुछन महाप्रभु जी सत्य सनातन परम ब्रह्म दाल ब्रह्म पूर्ण ब्रह्म रूप में रही सी जब मृत्युवरण करुण भागवत लिखा मध्य मंडले देह बही देवता हेले भी मरई यदि महाप्रभु जगन्नाथ मृत्युवरण करुछंती ये रक्त मांस देहधारी मनीष मृत्यु को भय करिबो कहीं तार कारण होची आमे प्रत्येक दिन जो अनित्य अन्याय धर्म करूछु जानतर बा अजानतर जो भूल करि बसुछु ताकू जो घंट घोड़े चलीछु तार परिणति बड़ भयंकर आप माने जानती जो माने अनित्य अन्याय धर्म उपाय अंतर्ग्रह करी विराट मनीष भाव परलोक होगा आस्पर्धा करती चिंता करती से अर्थ राशि सब थाना जाए डाक्तखाना जाए ये विचार यदि प्रत्येक मनीष भितर तेणु मनीष भितर जो ज्ञान भगवान नहीं मनीष भितर जो विश्वकर्मार चेतनाटी भगवान नहीं जदि ठिकना ढंग से कर्म जीवन प्रयोग कर मो भावुची ये समाज में से परिवर्तन कर समाज में नुआ चेतना सृष्टि हम से चेतना हूँ सत्य चेतना जो सत्य चेतना आम गोटे वैदिक विश्वविद्यालय करुचु आज अध्यक्ष मैं शुणुली शनिवार दिन वेदयज्ञ हो बहुत खुशी लगे ये विद्यालय ये भी विद्यालय आगामी दिन में भावुची केवल ओडिशा भितर नुहे भारतवर्ष भितर एभली एक चेतना सृष्टि करिवो, एभली एक आध्यात्मिक चेतना सृष्टि करिवो। प्रत्येक पिला जड़े जड़े सन्थ महात्मा ही बाहरिबे एवं समग्र ओडिशा को दिशा देखैबे। भारतवर्ष भारतीय भाव में एभली काम करिवे जहाँ आपंकर जो इंटरनेशनल नेशनल जो डिबेट भितर जो कथा जो कहूले तार स्पष्ट प्रतिफल हम तार मूल हूँ साधुता, सचोटता एवं सत्यनिष्ठता। ये तीन जिनस को पे जीवन में भूल ना। जो ये जिनस भूल तार स्थिति अस्तित्व किसी रहा। कारण प्रत्येक मनीष भितर यही ज्ञान जो आसो प्रत्येक मनीष जड़े जड़े देवतार परिणत हो। कारण देवतार अर्थ हूँ जे होता से देवता ईश्वर भगवान जो शब्दटी रही आम नेपथ्य जहाँ कि घटुची आम जापना किंतु भगवान आपको गोटे कथा कहते ईश्वर आपको गोटे कथा कहते भल मनीष हो बड़ मनीष हवा स्वप्न देख ना। जो भल मनीष हाँपाई तुम चिंता करना से तुम भितर आपे आप ज्ञान आसो। से ज्ञान हूँ आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान, ऐश्वरिक ज्ञान एवं जो मनीष स्वप्न देखे एवं तार इच्छा शक्ति जो शुभ इच्छा शक्ति परिणत हो जाए आपे आपे ता भर ऐश्वरिक शक्ति आसो। फल सी बहुत किसी काम कर आज डीएवी स्कूल कलिंगा नगर जो कार्यक्रम आयोजन करी पिलांक भितर सत्य चेतना आध्यात्मिक चेतना को सृष्टि करने तार उत्तरण करने जो कंक्लेव समावेश आयोजन करी समस्त सेवक भविष्य प्रणाम अभिनंदन जनाऊँ शुभेच्छा जनाऊँ। आगामी दिन में तुम मैंने भल मनीष हो ये कही मोर वाणी को विराम दूसरी। वंदे उत्कल जननी जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ।
बिल्कुल सही शब्दों को आपने यहाँ पे प्रकाशित कर दिया है, सत्य को उजागर किया है। आपके शब्दों आपके शब्द सदैव हमारे प्रेरणा स्रोत बने रहेंगे। इस साहित्यार्पण मंच पर एक और विशेष व्यक्ति का स्वागत करना चाहूंगी। वो है कैरियर काउंसिलर सम्माननीय राकेश रंजन सर का भव्य स्वागत हो। तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें। साहित्य संगोष्ठी में चार चांद लगाने के लिए मंच पर उस ऊर्जावान व्यक्ति को आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी जो शब्द ज्ञान की ज्योति जगाते रहते हैं। जी हाँ, शब्द ज्ञान की ज्योति जगाते रहते हैं वो और कोई नहीं हमारे सम्माननीय डॉक्टर ललित नारायण रथ सर। डॉक्टर ललित नारायण रथ जी का भव्य स्वागत हो। उन्हें करतालियों से आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी मंच पर। सर कृपया हमें अपना साझा करें।
समस्ती को नमस्कार। मु ओडिया कहूँ स्टूडेंट्स गुड आफ्टरनून। स्टूडेंट्स गुड आफ्टरनून। स्टूडेंट्स गुड आफ्टरनून। स्टूडेंट्स मो बेसी भाषण अपेक्षा कहवा अपेक्षा मो शब्द तुमको कह आज फास्ट कहना चाहूँगी डीएवी कलिंगा नगर स्कूल तो प्रिंसिपाल बलराम सार राष्ट्रीय सार और समस्त स्टूडेंट मैंने मत ये डाकी बहुत खुशी। आज जो ये लिटरेचर कॉन्क्लेव कारण मुझे भाषण जब कहबी ताले बहुत राति पाई सरी बोली मुझे कहना चाहूँगी जे आमर ये प्रथम देखिए राजकिशोर सार कितने सुंदर भाव में म्यूजिक टीचर आपते सुंदर भाव परिवेशन कर मुझे कहबी सहित काम कर सहित मुझे बड़ बड़ चैनल भी काम कर विषय में कौन ना कहबी विषय छोटे से जिन कहना चाहूँगी जे राजकिशोर सार होती ओडिशार गौरव नहीं सारा विश्व गौरव जे कि वर्ल्ड चैंपियन करते जोटा 213टा कंट्री 18टा कंट्री मुझे आज भी समस्त को अनुरोध करी जे मोर लिरिक्स पर राजकिशोर सार को वार्ड आंथम आम आज देखा बलराम सार जो दायित्व देइछंती आपनकर एनुअल फंक्शन को आउरी जगै करबा मो एठी कहया को चाहूची जे मो गोटे गीत लिखिथिली मो ओडिसा हुई से ओडिशार कल्चर आर्ट संस्कृति परंपरा को सब जिन नहीं गोटे छोटिया प्रयास करी किसी मोर ये लिरिक्स भूल नहीं थे पारे मत क्षमा देवे मोर दुईट लिरिक्स आप शुणा देवी गोटे हूँ सुंदर ओडिशा हुई गोटे हूँ वीर प्रसविनी ओके तापर आम राजकिशोर सार वार्ड आंथम सरीबा से पर्यटन स्टेज रही मोर टेक्नीशियन भाई मान को कहबी टिके लाइट टिके बंद करने सुंदर ओडिशा हुई परिवेशन करने और साउंड भी टिके बहुत बढ़िया देवे सुंदर ओडिशा भी देखला पर आपण वीर प्रसन्न
प्रशंसनीय प्रयास गीतिका संगीत का गायक गायिका एवं तरंग बिजली चैनल को शुभेच्छा और अभिनंदन। वंदे सकल जन।
पार्टिक सब को ठिया के सम्मान देबे 117टा कंट्री रे रिलीज हेची फुटागर सोहिनी मिश्र इंडियन आइडल फेम जोकि मोर बेस्ट फ्रेंड गाइछथि ताबुटिए परिवेशन करा जो गोटिए सॉन्ग वीर प्रसाद समझते कहबी पिला माने पार्टिक सब समझ के ठिया होतो यदि मो लेखा किछि भूल थाए मते क्षमा देबे स्टार्ट करा जो वीर प्रसाद Sound please.
Veera
अनुरोध करी मैडम मत टाइम करछन्ती कहलेनी किंतु मु एटी चाहूची रिक्वेस्ट करूची जे हमर सारा विश्व बड़ राजकीय संस्था नेशनल वन एंथम करछनी के कर पानाती ताको टिके परिवेशन कर दो टिके सब धर दे सब वन एंथम के देखा दो राजकीय संस्था को कहबी ताकर टेक्नीशियन है को कहबे मु वन एंथम यदि मते अपने गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर डाकी छंती मु वन एंथम देखिया बिना तू जीवी नहीं वन एंथम देखा चाहूची ठीक अच्छी अपन ताकू एंडिंग रे अब एंड कर लो वन एंथम रे थैंक यू जय जगन्नाथ
भावनाओं को सम्मान करते हुए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अब आगे के कार्यक्रम के लिए मैं हमारे प्यारे छात्राओं को शिप्रा और अंजलिना को मंच संभालने के लिए आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी। शिप्रा और अंजलिना।
is still waiting to be recognized. Audience, I hope you're still there with us as we move on to the next segment and wait for another mesmerizing performance. दोहा हिंदी का लोकप्रिय छंद है जो अपनी संक्षिप्तता तथा गहरी सोच के लिए जाना जाता है। दोहे जीवन के विभिन्न पहलुओं जैसे धैर्य, सत्य, अहिंसा जैसे मूल्यों की शिक्षा देते हैं और योग हमारे शरीर को स्वस्थ रखने में सहायक है। तो आइए हमारे मन तथा शरीर को स्वस्थ रखें और देखें दोहा तथा योग का एक सुंदर समन्वय। दोहांजलि हिंदी विभाग की ओर से। Lines went as barren as wastelands, meaning no social media, no microphones, and no digital platforms. Yet they managed to unite millions, not through loudspeakers, but through the strength of truth and devotion. Their words didn't travel through cables or satellites, they traveled through hearts. And that's the spirit we celebrate today. The courage to speak, to share, to people, to move the people with words that come from within. Now comes our favorite part, Youth Voices, the open mic session. This is where thoughts are raw, emotions unfiltered, and words come straight from the heart. Here, the youth speak their truth, not for applause, but for connection. So, let's welcome our friends to take the stage and share their voices. First, it's time for our little champs to take over the stage. I would like to invite Adil Patnaik of Class 3C to take over the stage. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Sandals were for be found. He wanted to fly up so high in the air to see the white clouds floating out there. He told his fish friends about his great desire to soar like a bird to reach for the fire. They wiggled their fins and stared in dismay. "You're a fish," said a friend, "you'll get lost on the way." He ignored their advice and swam for the top. Not one moment, pausing and daring to stop. He leaped from the water, the splash and yell, but landed right back on the sea in an instant. The little fish sighed with a shiver and shake. "My fins can do what the bird's wings can make." He looked at his friends who were all swimming near, and the wish for the sky was replaced with a tear. Then the old turtle swam up and said with a smile, "The ocean is vast and explored for a while. Be happy with your friends and the things they can do, and explore the home that is waiting for you." The little fish listened and thought for a bit and realized his own little home was a inn. He swam with his friends through the coral so bright and cherished the life he was living just right. So the moral is, be happy with who you are and the good things you have. Thank you.
Moving on to the display of English well-composed stories, let's invite Madhurya Acharya, class 11A. Class 9A. Madhurya Acharya, class 9A, is requested to place the stage. It is essential. Let's move on to the next segment. The next performance. I'm sorry. Madhurya Acharya will be presenting her. Already labeled it as "She Ran Away," and that's very significant to her. Adya's eyes filled with tears of regret because the high schooler was none other than her own best friend. A warm morning to one and all cousin over here. This is Madhurya Acharya of class 9A standing before you to narrate once more story, so far yet so near. Adya sat on her desk, her laptop open. She shared each and every bit of her suffering to ChatGPT. Suddenly, her phone chimed. A notification from an unknown number. "You lost something precious." Call it back. 8 p.m. Attached to the message was a location. Curiosity made tears fall upon their skin. She took a moment to decide, but curiosity and desperation took better upon her. By 8 p.m., she reached the location. With each and every step, the building grew creepier, like a nightmare come true. The doors creaked open. She walked into the room. The room was full of computers with glowing eyes judging her soul. One particularly huge computer lit up, displaying a familiar face behind bars. It was Maria. "Do you want her back?" The computer spoke in a mechanical voice. Adya exclaimed, "Yes," desperation raising her voice. The computer continued. "Answer the question honestly. 3 points on display, each one personal and brutal. Do you prefer AI over humans? Do you avoid the calls of the people who care about you? Do you hide behind screens to avoid real emotions?" Each one was followed by silence, a nod, a silent yes. Suddenly, metal doors screeched open. Walked in Maria, followed by a hooded man behind her. Adya gained her composure and yelled, "Who are you?" The man just took off his mask and hood, enough to widen Adya's eyes with betrayal and hurt, because the man was none other than her own brother Advait. Why did you do this to me?" Adya spoke, her voice cracked with emotion. Advait just chuckled. Why? You ask me why? You refuse family dinners, you ignore your friends' calls, and then you think you lost your friends to accidents? Well, you lost them to your own negligence. Then she broke into tears, muttering sorries and apologies over and over between sobs. Priya and Advait wrapped their arms around her in a silent gesture of forgiveness. Well, the story ended with a happy ending. But is your relationship with family and friends slowly scattering apart because of technology, because of AI, or because of your own negligence? I repeat, you don't lose your dearest to accidents, you lose them to your own negligence. With that, I would like to sign off. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you for an information for all the participants those who are sitting there. Those who have registered their name for open mic session, please come to the back side of this activity hall green room immediately.
Moving on, the next performance is of the dynamic duo of Sheen Kaushal and Bbsr of Class 10. Please welcome them with a round of applause.
A warm good morning to one and all present over here. I am Kalinga Nagar
And I am of Sheen Kaushal.
and today we are going to present the story entitled The Mirror of Heart.
Some places are better when left unexplored, but curiosity makes a way to find you.
Two sisters, Agatha and Sophia. They couldn't have been more different. Sophia's kind and gentle smile drew everyone in, whereas Agatha's cunning and soft look drew everyone off.
One day during their school trip, both the sisters wandered in the jungle.
Agatha, are you sure this is the right way?
Relax, Sophia, I exactly know where we are going. Soon they stumbled upon a mysterious house. Its walls were entirely covered with mirrors shimmering in the dim light. Curious, they stepped in.
Wow, look at all these mirrors.
Strange, it almost feels like the mirrors are watching us.
At first, they were laughing at the reflections, but soon they noticed something strange. The mirrors didn't just show their faces, it showed their personality, exactly opposite of what they truly were. Agatha, why do you look so kind?
And why do you look so mean? Frustrated, Sophia couldn't accept her reflection and smashed one of the mirrors.
No, this can be real.
Wait, Sophia, stop. Immediately, the house began to shift, the doors vanished, and the girls found themselves trapped. Panic set in.
Hours seemed to pass as we tried to fix those mirrors, moving reflections, moving walls. But soon they began reflecting on each other.
But Agatha was calm and intelligent. She used her wit to examine the patterns of the mirror. Piece by piece, she discovered the way to unlock the door and escape. During their ordeal, the sisters found the truth of how their personalities could be misunderstood and how their actions affected each other.
I get it now, Agatha. You're not just scary, you're smart and brave.
And you are much stronger than I thought, Sophia. Kindness isn't weakness. By the time they stepped outside the house, something has changed. Sophia realized that kindness must have strength, and Agatha learned that cleverness is best paired with compassion.
Now they were walking towards the group, but this time not just as sisters but as a team. They had found a new bond, respect for each other. The house of mirrors showed them trust and their flaws. They were walking side by side, but this time stronger than ever.
Thank you. What a commendable performance. Thank you, seat and thank you, Divyankita.
Now put your hands together for Lifa Sijjara class 10C.
Warm greetings to one and all present over here. This is Lifa Sijjara of Standard 10C standing before you to present the story, The House That Hummed. The rain had just begun when Kabir reached the end of the broken road. Before him stood a mansion, tall, pale, and as quiet as brain, half swallowed by fog. The iron gate clicked open, as though it had been waiting for him. From his time phone CPS clicked one last message. You have arrived, 17 Willow Lane. He pushed open the gate and stepped inside. Inside, the garden was quiet. Weeds taller than his knees, flowers that had forgotten how to bloom. Inside the house, the silence was still. Portraits of strangers. Their eyes painted with unsettling precision. Then a low humming, soft, constant, and almost mechanical. It came from somewhere deep inside the mansion. Hello, he called out. Anyone here? He followed it down the corridor. Past doors with age until he reached a locked room. The lock gave way with a snap. Inside stood a grand piano covered with dust. Its keys moved on their own, pressing slowly one after the another. Behind the instrument stood a girl's form. Julie! Whispered around. A girl stood there, drenched barefoot, her hair dripping like the rain outside. Who are you? He stammered. The girl smiled faintly. I can ask you that. You came to my house. But no one's lived here for years. I was just looking for shelter. Shelter? Her eyes softened. That's what they all said. He frowned. They? She didn't answer. Just moved towards the piano and ran her fingers along the keys. It hums when it remembers, she whispered. Remembers what? The people who don't leave. A chill ran down Kabir's spine. I think I'll go now. But when he turned towards the door, it was gone. The wall was seamless, smooth. The girl looked at him, not with malice, but sadness. You should not have entered after sunset. The house keeps who it finds. The humming began again, louder now, vibrating through the floorboards. The portrait's eyes seemed to simmer. Kabir backed away, trembling. Please, let me out. It's not me who keeps you here, he whispered. It's your ego. The world began to blur. The voice stretched. The melodies of piano grew frantic. His voice struck at his throat. A week later, a real house agent came to survey the old mansion. As he walked through the corridor, he paused. From the music room came a slow hum, soft, rhythmic, almost like breathing. He smiled nervously. Must be the wind. But on the piano's keys, newly carved in dust, were two words. I am here. Thank you.
Thank you, Lifa, for your amazing story. Let's welcome Anshika Shukla. Moving on, let's invite Sanvi Uta, class 8C.
A Victory to Remember by Sanvi Uta. My heart was fluttering inside my chest out of excitement. I had qualified for a regional level quiz which was to be held in Rourkela the next day. My bus was at 9. and I could not contain myself. I was in the car with my sister on my way back home. I got out of the car and after a while all I knew was seething pain and my world turned dark. I had suffered an accident and as a consequence my leg was severely injured to the point I was unable to stand, let alone walk. I was writhing in pain when my mother asked me to consider not going. My pain overwhelmed me and yet I found myself gritting my teeth and saying, I'm a quitter, not a quitter, and I won't give up. Only I know how my mother and I got through the bus ride. Early the next morning, upon my arrival in Rourkela, a man named Hira Lal sir, who was a gentleman in every sense of the word, received me and had to carry me as if I was made of glass. I felt guilty for being unable to do such a simple thing, that is, walk. He placed me in his car and as we arrived at the hotel we were to stay in, another gentleman, Prakash sir, lifted me up the stairs. Believe me, someone else's panting breaths will never more able to make me feel sorry. I arrived at the hotel room and fell asleep, exhausted. When I started revising my material, day turned into night. The sun rose again. It was the day of the competition. I was more ready than ever, despite the limp I sported. We went on stage and we won the competition with a whopping 220 points. And then I came down stage. I was engulfed by the chief guests. Hilal sir was holding a mic. Prakash sir was holding me by the shoulders. On the mic was reading my story. She is the Rani Jhansi of our age. Her determination and bravery is an inspiration to us all. I hadn't realized until then that tears were streaming down my face. I knew then that I had done it. I had made it to the nationals. After that, another gentleman with a round face and the sweetest smile I can remember engaged in conversation with me. He seemed impressed by my knowledge and was moved by my story. What he said to me was, how did you do this? You were such a small girl, only 11 years old. How did you make it all the way to Rourkela from Bhubaneswar with an injured leg? I repeated what I said to my mother. I'm a quizzer, not a quitter. I will not, under any circumstance, give up. Well, and then he insisted upon lifting me up the stairs. I refused his kind gesture. And again, he insisted upon assisting me up to the room. As we arrived at the doorstep of the room, he cupped my cheeks in his hands and said, I wish I had a daughter like you. I stand in front of you to say that I am more proud than ever of the way my parents raised me. I was proud how my mother had raised me with her utmost care and wisdom. I thanked in my heart for my father giving my very first book. I was glad. I was proud, and I stand before you as a story that you should never give up on your dreams. Never ever.
Thank you, Salvi, for your beautiful story. How can we continue this segment without the inclusion of our mother tongue? Let's invite Swanjit Hota of Class 8B to share his self-composed Odia poem.
शुभ सकाळ मु स्वयंजित होता अष्टम श्रेणी ख विभाग छात्र निजर स्वलिखित कविता प्रस्तुत करने जाऊँगी कवितार शीर्षक युद्ध और शांति युद्ध एक विभत्स निनाद करुण क्रंदने धर धर अग्नि जलाई मनुष्यर घर रक्तर छिटारे विजयी संचार रक्तर छिटारे विजयी संचार क्षणिक क्रोधे जड़े हिंसार निया जीवन मूल्य कहीं न जानते भूली जानती सब ममता और स्नेह केवल विजय आशारे से धांती केवल विजय आशारे से धांती किंतु शांतिर अमृत झर जीवन रे भरी दिए शीतल परस प्रेमर बंधने बांधी पे जगत सबुटी फुटे खुशीर कुसुम सबुटी फुटे खुशीर कुसुम शांति सुंदर शांति श्रेष्ठ तारी उपस्थिति रे जगत सजीव तारी उपस्थिति रे जगत सजीव आस समस्ते मिसी गड़ी भाई दुनिया जेमती सुख युद्ध नुहे शांति मिलिब शांति आशीष मिलिब एतिकी कही मुई मंचर विदाय नौची धन्यवाद।
Now let's put our hands together for Bbsr of class 8B.
शुभ सकाळ मु अन्वेषा पटनायक अष्टम श्रेणी ख विभागर छात्री आज आपण समस्त सामने कविता आबृत्ति करने जाऊँगी मोर कवितार शीर्षक होइछि गुरु। अज्ञान रूपक अंधकार मते ज्ञान लोक गुरु देले जीवन रे जहाँ मु लभिछि तांकरी आशीष बड़े हाथ धरी मोर चलिबारु नहीं ज्ञान विज्ञान थी जेते तांकरी शिक्षा रे असीम आकाश मापीचे पारुछि सते स्वार्थ सर्वस्वर जुगरे भी तुम्हें समाज गठन प्रति अतुलनीय अवदान तुम देशर उन्नति प्रति गुरु ही अटंती साक्षात ईश्वर गुरु ही पिता माता विद्यालय जति मंदिर अटई गुरु ही मुख्य देवता पूजी थांती सेठी गुरु का चरण सदा सब शिष्य गण शिक्षा भले को ज्ञान को दे से कुहंती नाही सुझिबा को तार ऋण गुरु कारीगर भली जीवन गढ़ती हेले नुह कारीगर से माटी पिंडुला को जीवंत करती दे ज्ञान उपहार आलोक शिखाटी पर चढ़ी सभी को ज्ञान बांटिल गुरु जे सतरे ईश्वर ठुमी बड़ प्रमाणित तुम्हें कल प्रमाणित तुम्हें कल धन्यवाद।
With a warm round of applause, please welcome Anshita Shukla.
A very good afternoon to one and all present over here, esteemed delegates, honorable principal, revered supervisors, teachers, and my dear friends. Today I am myself Anshita Shukla and I am going to showcase my article and tell the tale of how a little creativity turned into a life-changing journey. It all began when my first article got published in the website of the Olympic Games. This is a foundation led by Mr. Vadim Kotelnikov sir, a global mentor of innovation, whom I deeply admire, and he belongs from Russia. Now I would like to share a few highlights of my article. There is something that I deeply believe in and follows, and it goes something like, believe in yourself. Never be afraid to fall. Instead, always be prepared to rise up once you fall. And I would also like to share this with the delegates present over here. These thoughts come straight from the heart. Because when I'm creating something, I'm also creating myself, and I truly believe in that. So, and also there is another organization which I had participated in, and they had truly launched me in one of their magazines as the front page, and I would like to share that with you as well. So lastly, what I would like to say is that innovation is not only limited to certain people. It is a mindset which needs to be occupied by everyone. It is something that is not only limited to people, but something that needs more innovation. With this, I would like to end my work and thank everyone for your patience.
Now
देवी का अवतार यही है, उन्नति का प्रसार यही है। इनको ना कमजोर तुम समझो, शक्ति स्रोत का सार यही है। जब भी लड़ने की इसमें ठानी है, महिला बड़ी मर्दानी है, ना अबला ना बेचारी है, ये आज की नारी है। एक अवसर तो इनको बढ़ने का, पूरे जगत को बढ़ाएगी ये। एक स्त्री को तुम शिक्षित करो, पूरी पीढ़ी शिक्षित कर जाएगी ये। नारी का अस्तित्व जगत में सबसे शक्तिशाली है, धरती पर रहकर भी ये आसमान पर भारी है। इनके होने से ही चलती ये दुनिया सारी है, ईश्वर भी खुद हाथ जोड़कर इनके आभारी है। ये आज की नारी है, ये आज की नारी है। धन्यवाद।
Let's put your hands together for Disha Rakshita of class 8C.
शुभ अपराह्न, मैं दिशा रक्षिता कक्षा 8वीं 2 की छात्रा आप सभी के सामने अपनी स्वरचित कविता प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ। मेरी कविता का शीर्षक है वर्षा। काले में आसमान छिपाते कड़कते बिजली संग मैं आती, माँ मुझे करे याद क्यों मैं वर्षा हूँ। कहाँ मैं उसकी प्यास बुझाऊं, कहाँ मैं उसकी गोद में बरस जाऊं। मित्र किसान पुकारते यूं, मैं वर्षा हूँ, मैं वर्षा हूँ। मिट्टी की सौंधी सुगंध हूँ, मोर के गान की सुर हूँ। मैं धरती माँ की पुत्री हूँ, हाँ मैं वर्षा हूँ, मैं वर्षा हूँ।
Thank you, Disha, for this amazing performance. Now it's time for Anushka Chaube of class 7C.
शुभ अपराह्न, आप सभी को मेरा सादर नमन। मैं अनुष्का चौबे कक्षा 8वीं की छात्रा आज आप सबके समक्ष अपनी स्वरचित कविता प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ। कविता का शीर्षक है वह पूर्णिमा की रात। वह शांत है, चांदनी झलती है जैसे कृपा। नदी के तट पर मैं बैठी, मन एक दीप सा। जल में झिलमिल आपका प्रतिबिंब देखूं मैं। हे माधव, लगता है समय थम गया यहाँ। पवन की सरगम में बांसुरी की धुन छिपी, हर कण में आपकी मुस्कान सी झिलमिल हुई। मेरी निस्तबंधता भी अब भक्ति बन गई, हर श्वास आपके नाम से सुवासित हुई। अब मैं नहीं, ना आप अलग रहे। नदी पर चांद सब आप ही तो रहे। हे नंदलाल, यह जीवन आपका प्रसाद बने और यह मौन आपका शाश्वत संहार बने, शाश्वत संहार बने। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Anushka, for the Lastly, it's time for Manashri Singh to take over the stage.
शुभ अपराह्न आप सभी को। मेरा नाम मनस्वी सिंह है और मैं कक्षा 8वीं की छात्रा हूँ और आज मैं आप सभी के समक्ष अपनी स्वरचित कविता को प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ। मेरी कविता का शीर्षक है भारत माँ के प्रेम। आशा करती हूँ आपको ये कविता अच्छी लगेगी। हूँ सिपाही देश की बात कहूँ मैं नहीं, हूँ सिपाही देश की बात कहूँ मैं नहीं। मेरे जैसा हर बच्चा है भारत माँ का प्रेमी, है भारत माँ का प्रेमी। नहीं हाथ में बंदूक गोले पर हिम्मत है भारी, नहीं हाथ में बंदूक गोले पर हिम्मत है भारी। ज्ञान दीप से दूर करेंगे अज्ञानता के अंधार। हम नन्हे मुन्ने वीर सिपाही है भारत देश के सच्चे प्रेमी, है भारत देश के सच्चे प्रेमी। कलम हमारी शक्ति है और पुस्तक है संगी हमारी, कलम हमारी शक्ति है और पुस्तक है संगी हमारी। पढ़ लिख कर बनेंगे हम वो पीढ़ी सबसे न्यारी, वो पीढ़ी सबसे न्यारी। जाति धर्म के दीवारों को तोड़ेंगे बारी बारी, जाति धर्म के दीवारों को तोड़ेंगे
reminding us that expression isn't just about being heard, it's about being understood.
As we wrap this session up, I only hope that you were able to resonate with the emotions our friends try to convey through their performances. Thank you to every participant for lighting up the stage.
Thank you, dear audience, for your warmth and energy throughout. Let your words be the wings that take your hearts higher. Now, let's hand over the mic to Major Tharangi for the next session. Over to you.
नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। शुभपर्णं सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः। अहं मेधिरः दशमकक्षायाः छात्रः सर्वेषां हार्दं स्वागतं ज्ञापयामि। अद्य अतीव आनन्दस्य विषयः भवति यत् अस्माकं विद्यालयस्य पक्षतः साहित्यसम्मेलने आयोजिता अस्ति। साहित्यं किं भवति? मनसि यत् धारयति तदेव तत् प्रकटयितुं समर्थः तदेव साहित्यः। अतः उच्यते साहित्य संगीत कला विहीन साक्षात् पशुः पुच्छ विषाणहीन। साहित्य मानवानां जीवनस्य दर्पणमस्ति। संस्कृत साहित्ये धर्म संस्कार ज्ञानं च आत्मानुभव अपि दृश्यते। अस्मिन् सम्मेलनस्य माध्यमेन वयं समृद्धं साहित्यविचारं कवितालेखनं च मनोविनोदनम् अनुभविष्यामः। आगताः समस्ताः अतिथयः विद्वांसः तथा साहित्यप्रेमिणः च अहं पुनः सादरं स्वागतं करोमि। अधुना भारतमाता स्वस्था न भवति, सा दुःखिता अस्ति। तस्य भावावेगं प्रकटयितुम् अहं वर्णिका रथ नाम्नि नवमकक्षायाः छात्रान् आमन्त्रयामि।
अहं भारतमाता अतीव दुःखिता अस्मि। अधुना अहम् अस्मिन् संसारे सुरक्षिता न भवामि। अहं न जाने जनाः किमर्थं मम अत्याचारं कुर्वन्ति। अहं भवतां जननी एव। अहम् अतीव शोकसन्तप्ता भवामि। मम शरीरस्य एकः अङ्गः अस्ति पर्यावरणं। मम सुरक्षा कोऽपि न करोति। सर्वे मम पुत्राणां वृक्षाणां कर्तनं कुर्वन्ति। एतदर्थम् अहम् अपि दुःखिता भवामि। अधुना जनाः मम अत्याचारं कुर्वन्ति, तथापि तेषां कोऽपि पश्चात्तापं नास्ति। सर्वे मम प्रश्नः भवति, किं मम अत्याचारेण भवन्तः सर्वे सन्तुष्टाः भवन्ति? किम् एतत् भवतां लक्ष्यमस्ति? यदि अस्ति तर्हि कुर्वन्तु, यदि नास्ति तर्हि मम सुरक्षां कुर्वन्तु। अहम् अपि भवतां जननी एव। दुःखं मा ददातु। धन्यवादः।
जब आत्मनि समग्र विश्वे शब्दानुशासनं विषये ज्ञाने केन्द्रितभूतं तस्य विषये वक्तुम् अहम् अष्टमी कक्षायाः छात्रा आमन्त्रयामि।
अहं केवलं व्याकरणकारः नास्मि, अपि तु भाषाशास्त्रस्य महान् वैज्ञानिकः अपि अस्मि। मम कृतिः अष्टाध्यायी अद्यापि समग्र विश्व भाषा अध्ययनस्य एकम् आदर्शः एव मन्यते। जानन्ति किम्? अहं कः? अहं पाणिनिः अस्मि, व्याकरणस्य जनकः। संस्कृतभाषायाः सौन्दर्यं मया शास्त्ररूपेण सङ्गृहीतं। मम सूत्रैः भाषा शास्त्ररूपेण नित्यं जीवति। मम ज्ञानदीपः व्याकरणस्य मार्गं प्रकाशयति। अहं न केवलं कविः, व्याकरणस्य शिल्पी अपि अस्मि। मम रचितः अष्टाध्यायी इति व्याकरणग्रन्थः अद्यापि प्रमुखः। कंप्यूटर भाषायां कृत्रिमबुद्धौ यन्त्रभाषा प्रक्रियादिषु अहं सर्वदा उपयोगिनी अस्मि। अहं पाणिनिः अस्मि। अहं पाणिनिः अस्मि। धन्यवादः।
शोभनम्। नद्याः धर्मः कीदृशं भवति? सर्वदा गतिशीला। गतिशीला नदीं विषये वक्तुम् अहम् आह्वानं निमन्त्रयामि।
सर्वेभ्यः नमो नमः। अहम् अहाना दशमी कक्षाया छात्रा अद्य दिवसे मम स्वरचितकविता प्रस्तुतं करोमि। निर्मला सलिला भवति नित्यं शुभ्रतलं तेजलं प्रीतिकरं पर्वतपादे जननि त्वं जाता सागरगङ्गे त्वया मिलिता कलकलध्वनिना हर्षं वहति जनजीवनं त्वया सम्प्यदते संस्कृतिधारा यथा वहति तथा भव नित्यं पुण्यवती संसार इव वहति नदी क्षणे क्षणे परिवर्तनं गति जो जानाति नद्य स्वभावं स जीवने न सोचति कदाचन नद्यः प्राणः प्रजायाः जीवनस्य सततमधारा यत्र प्रवहन्ति नद्यशुधाः तत्र वसति धर्म सदा। धन्यवाद।
अतीव शोभनम् अहना पर्वत अस्माकं रक्षाकवची इव कार्यं करोति तस्य पर्वतस्य महत्त्वं विषये प्रकटयितुं ज्ञानसङ्गमम्।
सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः। अहं ज्ञानसः दशमकक्षायाः छात्रः अस्मि। अद्य दिवसे अहं मम स्वरचितां कवितां पठामि। स्थितो निर्विक्रियः समुद्रः वर्षाणां सहस्राणि यावत् वहति विघ्नं शीतं वर्षं च न कदापि वदति दुःखम्। अहं सैन्द्रः तपत्यधो भूमौ षडः शिखरे मकरं पतति मध्यभागे जीवनं धारणं शान्तः शरीरः तिष्ठति न वृक्षाणां भालं वदति न नदीनां वेगं रोदति भूधरः स धैर्यरूपेण सहते सर्वं मूलतः शृङ्गे वसन्ति देवाः पादे रमन्ति जनाभि सर्वान् ददाति स्वं शरीरं विचलः शैलः गुरुर्मम। धन्यवादः।
मित्राणि भवन्तः सर्वे बहु समीचीनम् उक्तवन्तः एतदर्थं सर्वेषां कृते धन्यवादाः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। जयतु संस्कृतं जयतु भारतं जयतु उत्कलं जय जगन्नाथ।
धन्यवाद मुझे अति सुंदर सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम का फरमान रहा। अब इस कार्यक्रम के उपरांत हम जिन्हें सुनने जा रहे हैं उनके चेहरे को मैं भांप रही हूँ। उनके चेहरे में मंद मंद मुस्कान है, संग में मीठी वाणी भरे हुए हैं। परिचय के मोहताज नहीं है वो, आप हस्ती में हस्ती की हैं जानी पहचानी। अब मैं एक ऐसे मिसाल को मंच पर अपना विचार व्यक्त करने हेतु आमंत्रित करने जा रही हूँ जिन्होंने अपनी प्रतिभा अपने हुनर और मेहनत का लोहा मनवाया है। साहित्य के इस पावन अवसर पर शब्द जब अपने अर्थों से जीवन को छू रहे हैं तब ऐसे व्यक्तित्व को हम अपने जहन में पाकर बहुत खुश हो रहे हैं। अब वो सुखद क्षण उपस्थित हुआ है जब हम सुनेंगे इस सभा के हमारे आदरणीय मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर गोपालरंजन मिश्र जी वर्मान तालियों की गुंजाहट होनी चाहिए। प्रोफेसर गोपालरंजन मिश्र जी सर के लिए आपके प्रेरणा विचार शब्द के लिए हम उपस्थित हैं। सर
It's already late. I thought for some time that probably my turn will never come. There are so many participants and they performed with such excellence that I have no words to congratulate them. Whatever little I am going to say will be bilingual, partly in English and partly in Odia. congratulate all your dear students for being students of this great school, DAV Public School, Kalinga Nagar, which has given you exposure and has given you platform to express your talent in a variety of ways. In fact, through songs and dance and speaking skill, yoga Bbsr, and other items, they express themselves with such excellence that they do deserve high accolades. ମୁଁ ଖାଲି ଗୋଟିଏ କଥା କହିବି. First of all, Honorable Chairman, Principal of this school, all the persons involved in organizing this literary conclave, for inviting me and for giving me this opportunity to share some of my personal feelings with you. Yes, at the outset, I should say, ଭଲ କି ପଢ଼ିବ, କଠିନ ପରିଶ୍ରମ କରିବ, but whatever you read with pleasure. ଯଦି ଖାଲି ଏକ୍ଜାମ୍ ଓରିଏଣ୍ଟେଡ୍ ହେଇ ପଢ଼ିବ, ହଁ ମେମୋରାଇଜ୍ କରିକିରି ମାର୍କ ଭଲ ସ୍କୋର କରିପାର, ବଟ୍ ସୁନ୍ ଆଫ୍ଟର୍ ଦ ଏକ୍ଜାମ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଓଭର୍, ଯାହା ତୁମେ ମନେ ରଖିବ ସବୁ ଇରେଜ୍ ହେଇଯିବ. କିନ୍ତୁ ୱିଥ୍ ପ୍ଲେଜର୍ ଯଦି ପଢ଼ିଥିବ ସେଇଟା ତୁମ ଲାଇଫ୍ ସାରା ରହିବ. ଆମର କେତେ ପ୍ରାୟ 60 ବର୍ଷ ତଳେ, about 60 years ago, in 1966, ମୁଁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ 9ରେ ଥିଲାବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ମୋର ଟିକେ ସୋର୍ ଥ୍ରୋଟ୍ ଅଛି, ମୁଁ କହିଲା ବେଳକୁ ହୁଏତ ଠିକ୍ ଭାବେ ଅଡିବୁଲ୍ ନ ହେଇପାରେ. କାହିଁକି ପୁଟ୍ ଅପ୍ ୱିଥ୍ ମି. ଗୋଟେ ପୋଏମ୍ ଥିଲା ବ୍ଲାଇଣ୍ଡ ବୟ. ସେ ପୋଏମ୍ର ଯେ ସ୍ପିକର, ହି ଇଜ୍ ବର୍ନ ବ୍ଲାଇଣ୍ଡ. ସେ ଆଲୁଅ କ'ଣ ଅନ୍ଧାର କ'ଣ କଲର କ'ଣ କିଛି ସେ ଜାଣିନି, କିନ୍ତୁ ତା ମନ କେବେ ବି ଦୁଃଖ ନାହିଁ. ହି ଇଜ୍ ଭେରି ହ୍ୟାପି ବୟ. କିନ୍ତୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ତା ଚାରିପଟେ ଅନ୍ୟମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଆ ବିଚରା ଅନ୍ଧ ପିଲାଟି, ସେ ଦେଖିପାରୁନି ଦୁନିଆରେ କେତେ ରଙ୍ଗ ଅଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ତା ଦୁନିଆଟା ସବୁବେଳେ ଅନ୍ଧାରରେ ରହିଲା. ଏମିତି କଥା କହିଲାରୁ ତା ମନରେ ଦୁଃଖ ଆସୁଛି. ବେଳେବେଳେ ସେ ଭାବୁଛି ବୋଧେ ହି ଇଜ୍ ରିଏଲି ମିସିଂ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ପ୍ରେସସ୍, or else left to himself he is not missing anything at all. The poem goes like this: Black boy, oh say what is that thing called light which I must never enjoy? What are the blessings of the sight? Oh tell your poor blind boy. You talk of wondrous things you see. You say the sun shines bright. I feel him warm, but how can he or make it day or night? My day or night myself I make whenever I sleep or play. And could I ever keep awake? With me it were always day. With heavy sighs I often hear you mourn my hapless crew, but sure with patience I can bear a loss I never can know. Last and death. Then let not what I cannot have my cheer of mind destroy, while thus I sing, I am a king, although a poor blind boy. ସେଟା ଯେଉଁ ପଏଣ୍ଟଟା, ମୋତେ ପଏଣ୍ଟଟା ସେତେବେଳେ ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗିଥିଲା. ଏତେ ବର୍ଷ ପରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ବି ଆଇ ଷ୍ଟିଲ୍ ଲଭ୍ ଦିସ୍ ପଏଣ୍ଟ. ତାକୁ ମୁଁ ଏମିତି ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସଲେଟ୍ କରିଛି. କାହାକୁ ଭଲା ଆଲୁଅ ବୋଲି, ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ କାହାକୁ ଭଲା ଆଲୁଅ ବୋଲି କହୁଛ ତୁମେ ସତେ, ମୁଁ ଅନ୍ଧ ପିଲା ଦେଖିପାରେ ନା, କରିବ ନାହିଁ ମୋତେ. କି ସବୁ ସୁଖ ଥାଏ ଆଖିରେ, ଥିଲେ ଦେଖିବା ଶକ୍ତି. ମୁଁ ଖାଲି ଜାଣେ ଆଖିରେ ମୋର ନାହିଁ ତ ସେଇ ଜ୍ୟୋତି. କେତେ ସୁନ୍ଦର କ'ଣ ସେ ଚିଜ, ଯାହାକୁ ମନେ ହେଜ. ତୁମେ ତ କୁହ ଭାରି ଉଜ୍ଜଳ, ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ତାଙ୍କ ତେଜ. ମୁଁ ଜାଣିପାରେ ଦେହରେ ମୋର ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟଙ୍କର ତାତି. ହେଲେ କିପରି ସେ କରିବେ, ହେଲେ କିପରି କରିବେ ସିଏ ଆମର ଦିନ ରାତି. ମୋ ଦିନ ରାତି ମୋ ହାତ ଥାଏ, जेबे को खेले सुए नसोई जदी चाहिए रहे मोपाई दिन से अभागा बोली सुनाई जेबे सभी तो कथा मने मो भावे सही को जीवी जहाँ से दुख कौन से दुख अबा सुख जीवन जहाँ पाई भी नहीं से कथा जानी पूरी की पाई हारिबी मोर मनर शांति अलड़ा सब से कथा चलती लास्ट जा अधरे जेबे गीत थाए मने निज को राजा कराए गीतर सुरे जेबे मुलीना भावे ना केबे मुदिन हिना that's the point ମୁଁ କାହିଁକି କହିଲି ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ ତୁମେ ସବୁ ନିଜକୁ କନସିଡର କରିବା କଥା that you are fortunate to having students of this school ସବୁ ସ୍କୁଲରେ ସେମିତି ସବୁ ଏଜୁକେସନ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନରେ ଏଇଭଳି ଆଟମୋସ୍ଫିୟର ମିଳେନି ଏଇଭଳି ଏକ୍ସପୋଜର ମିଳେନି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ବୟସରେ ଥାଏ ଗୋଟେ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥାଏ ନିଜକୁ ପ୍ରକାଶ କରିବା ପାଇଁ in a variety of way and this school gives you that opportunity ମୁଁ ଏ କଥା କାହିଁକି କହୁଛି ପ୍ଲସ୍ ଟୁ କାଉନସିଲରେ ଥିଲାବେଳେ ଓଡ଼ିଶା ସାରାକୁ ଯାଏ ବିଭିନ୍ନ କଲେଜକୁ ଯାଏ ଗୋଟେ କଲେଜକୁ ଯାଇଛି ପ୍ରମିନେଣ୍ଟ କଲେଜ ଗୋଟେ ଭିଜିଟ୍ରେ ଯାଇଛି देखिए इंग्लिश क्लास चर्च प्लस टू स्टूडेंट्स तांकर गोटे नेहरू कर ऑटोबायोग्राफी जवाहरलाल नेहरू कर ऑटोबायोग्राफी गोटे चैप्टर चाइल्डहुड से थिला मु अल्प किछि पछारी फाइनली होल क्लास पछारी हु कैन टेल मी द नेम ऑफ इंदिरा गांधी's husband and we all know that Indira Gandhi married just once in her life but there were as many as 4 to 5 different answers and the first answer was a disaster and the first answer was Mahatma Gandhi no sense of history nor chronology Mahatma Gandhi was born in the year 1869 and Indira Gandhi was born in the year 1970. And soon other Gandhis followed. Rajiv Gandhi, Sanjay Gandhi, even some outside Rahul Gandhi. That shows how the students are ignorant about certain basic things. And it may be amusing, but it's a very serious thing also. Our Guru, previous speakers, including our chairman and our principal and others too, Vice Chancellor and the eminent lawyer, Lalit Narayan Ratha, they all partly and comprehensively they said how there is a decline in reading habit. In context में now details कहूँगी कि गुलजार करो. Since I have translated some poems of Guljar and have recited this particular poem in so many functions, especially at the request of your English department head, Mr. Jagdish Adhikari, I may be allowed to recite the poem of Guljar titled Kitabe. The speaker of the poem, I can understand that you are growing a little restless, you are already late, but still then, just for a few minutes. The speaker of the poem is a passionate book lover. When the poem begins, we find that the book lover is cut between two worlds, the world of books and the world of computer. Poem start hello, put a glass almirah full of books and it is locked. The book lover is there sitting in the chair But for the book lover, books are just not lifeless, inanimate objects. They have their feelings, their emotions. They peek through the glass, look at this man, and talk among themselves. There was a time when this man was so fond of us, but these days he has hardly any time for us, and they are becoming restless. From this point, the poem begins. I'm going to recite the poem. It is in Hindi and Urdu. My pronunciation of Hindi and Urdu words may be found wanting. Kindly bear with me. किताबें झांकती हैं बंद अलमारी के शीशों से, बड़ी हसरत से लगती है, महीनों अब मुलाकातें नहीं होती। जो शामें उनकी सोहबत में कटा करती थी अब अक्सर गुजर जाती है कंप्यूटर के पर्दों पर। बड़ी बेचैन रहती है किताबें, उन्हें अब नींद में चलने की आदत हो गई है। जो कतरे वो सुनाती थी कि जिनके सिर कभी मरते नहीं थे, वो कतरे अब नजर आती नहीं घर में। जो रिश्ते वो सुनाती थी वो सब उधरे उधरे हैं। कोई सफा पलटता हूँ, I turn the pages, एक सिसकी निकलती like this। कई लफ्जों के माने गिर पड़े हैं, बिना पत्तों के सूखे टूंड लगते हैं वो सब अल्फाज जिन पर अब कोई माने नहीं होता है। बहुत सी इस तरह हैं जो मिट्टी के शिकड़ों की तरह बिखरी पड़ी है, गिलासों ने उन्हें मंत्रुक कर डाला। The earthen cups have been made redundant by glass tumblers. Then the last part of the poem. Well, some of us have the habit of turning the pages, and while we do that, we put the finger on the tongue. जबा पे जायका आता था जो सफा पलटने का, अब उंगली क्लिक करने से बस एक झपकी गुजरती है। बहुत कुछ ताबता भूलता चला जाता है पर्दों पर किताबों से जो जाती रखता था, the personal bond I have with books once upon a time कट गया है। कभी सीने पर रख के लेट जाते थे, कभी गोदी में लेते थे, कभी घुटनों को अपने रीमल की सूरत बनाकर नीम सजदे में पढ़ा करते थे, छूते थे जल्दी से। वो सारा इल्म तो मिलता रहेगा बाद में भी। नॉलेज विल कीप कमिंग इन सम वे और अदर, नॉट नेसेसरली थ्रू बुक्स। वो सारा इल्म नॉलेज तो मिलता रहेगा बाद में भी, पर रोज मिला करते थे किताबों में सूखे फूल और महके हुए रुके सेंटेड नोट्स। इट्स अ रेफरेंस टू लव लेटर्स। Books are just a plea, but the purpose is non-academic, to build a relation. वो सारे इल्म तो मिलता रहेगा बाद में भी, पर रोज मिला करते थे किताबों में सूखे फूल और महके हुए रुके। किताबें मांगने, गिरने, उठाने के बहाने रिश्ते बनते थे, उनका क्या हो गया वो शायद अब नहीं होंगे। That is how the poem ends. I wanted to say a lot many things, but because it's quite late, let me conclude with a piece of advice to all dear students. Study hard, as I said in the beginning, but study with pleasure. तामाने में तुम्हें सेटा रियलाइज करथिबो जे बहुत किसी पढ़िया अच्छी, बहुत किसी पढ़िया अच्छी। And before we realize, we find that time is not with us. Time flies. ସେଥିପାଇଁ stick to a personal diary. ସବୁଦିନ ଯାହା ଯାହା ଘଟୁଛି, ଭଲ ଲାଗୁ ମନ୍ଦ ଲାଗୁ, ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥାଉ ନଥାଉ, write down something. and soon you will realize that your own diary has become a kind of document, priceless, invaluable document, which will help you to be a good writer. Well, I have been cautioned, rather, that time is running out and I should be brief. So let me stop here with my sincere expression of gratitude to the chairman, to the principal, to all the members who are involved in organizing this literature conclave, for inviting me to this function to be a part of this beautiful program. I express my gratitude to all of them, and with a fond hope that we will meet again, let me depart. Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद सर, आपके अमूल्य विचारों के लिए हृदय से आभार है। सभा के अंतिम पड़ाव की ओर हम अग्रसर हैं। बस अब हम बुला रहे हैं कैरियर काउंसलर सम्माननीय राकेश रंजन सर को। मंच पर आपका स्वागत है, जोरदार तालियों के साथ। राकेश रंजन सर, कृपया।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, one and all present here. Good afternoon. It's indeed an honor to present in front of all the dignitaries. I would like to extend my warm greetings to all the eminent personalities, respected principal sir, teachers, and my dear students. So I'm Rakesh Ranjan, and I'm representing University of Petroleum, Dehradun. And today we'll be discussing something very important. It's all about your future. It's all about your career. We all are living in the age of AI. Right? How many of you heard about this term, AI? AI/ML? I believe many. Alright. So in the era of AI and ML, how you can decide what is best for you, what is right for you? Right? So how many do we have? Class, I believe all are here, class 10 to 12? Yeah. Alright. So let me ask you a simple question. Right? So how many of you are having an idea that what you want to become? Just a clear idea. Yes, I want to become that, I want to become this. How many of you are having? Please raise your hand. Only few I can see. Alright. How many of you are still figuring out? I'm exploring. Okay, alright. So the idea is, you have to first understand your interest and skill. Right? Interest is something which you like doing. The skill is like you are trained for that. When these interests and skills overlap, then you get a successful career. Right? Then you have to just note down 2 or 3, 5 interests. What is the kind of interest you are having? What is kind of expectation you are having? Then you will find a successful career. That's the one mantra. So how many of you heard about Prime Minister's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047? Anyone? Only one I can see. 2? Alright. So this is a very ambitious project of Government of India. India is poised to become a developed nation by 2047. What does that mean to you? Like when you will be completing your higher studies, class 10 to 12, like if you go by the calculation, probably by 2032 or 2033, you all will come to workforce. Right? So you will just devote your 13 to 14 years of your life. So here comes the youth power. Then now you have to understand, yes, what kinds of career are good for me? What kinds of domains I am good at? So the first thing what I told you about, you have to find out your interest, you have to find out your skill. Then you should see where is my imagination going. So someone could be in designing, someone could be in drawing. No? And it's a kind of critical thinking. And definitely strategical thinking. You must go for it. You are a designer. Someone good in problem solving. Right? Then you can first go for AI engineer, and then engineer, prompt engineer. Someone good is like mathematics, calculations, fintech innovations. So these things you have to figure out. Right? So I'll just tell you a small thing about this World Economic Forum. There is a Future of Job report by World Economic Forum. Where few things have been highlighted, which as a student you must know. That technology will play a very important role in the coming era. Right? So 60% to 65% job now will be technology driven. So that doesn't mean that only science students can make their career in that. Now it's the era of the interdisciplinary approach. There are students from the humanities, they are having psychology, but they're still studying economics. They're still having the computer science, data science. Being a science student, you can still study the finance. That's a combination of fintech industry. So you all have to think in that way, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary approach, right? So I know there is a very short time I have given, so sorry for that. Yes, the only thing I would like to say, dream big, work hard, and don't be afraid to explore. The more you will explore, the more you will know. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
क्या बात है, सब समय में आपने बेहतरीन ओजस्वी भाव आपने प्रकट किया है। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, बहुत बेहतरीन रहा। शायद बच्चों को जरूर ये काम में आएगी। अब समय आ गया है, भारतीय परंपरा एवं संस्कृति में अतिथियों को देवतुल्य माना गया है। अतिथियों का सत्कार हमारा अहोभाग्य है। इस कारण में हमारे विद्यालय के चेयरमैन सर मदन मोहन पंडित जी को मंच पर अनुरोध करना चाहूंगी, कृपया आप मंच पर विराजें। साथ साथ हमारे प्राचार्य जी से भी अनुरोध है, आप उनका साथ दें। साथ ही साथ मैं अतिथियों को बुलाना चाहूंगी। डॉक्टर ललित नारायण राज सर, प्रोफेसर हरिहर कानूनगो सर और हमारे मुख्य अतिथि गोपाल रंजन मिश्रा सर, कृपया आप मंच पर पधारें। राकेश रंजन सर, कृपया आप लोग सभी एक साथ आ जाएं। श्रद्धा सुमन के लिए मुख्य अतिथि को श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पण किया जा रहा है। विद्यालय द्वारा कुछ उत्तरीय सर के द्वारा गोपाल रंजन मिश्रा सर को श्रद्धा सुमन दिया जा रहा है। जोरदार तालियों के साथ उत्साहित करें। स्कूल मैगजीन, कॉफी टेबल, डीयूबी यूनाइटेड, राकेश सर को श्रद्धा सुमन दिया जा रहा है। उत्तरीय तालियों की कमी ना हो। स्कूल मैगजीन, पौधा, कॉफी टेबल, उत्तरीय, धन्यवाद। अब ललित सर जी को सम्मानित किया जा रहा है। उत्तरीय के साथ स्कूल मैगजीन, कॉफी टेबल, पौधा, दिवाली की श्रद्धा सुमन हमारी ओर से, हमारे विद्यालय की ओर से ग्रहण करें। हरिहर कानूनगो सर को सम्मानित किया जा रहा है। उत्तरीय कॉफी टेबल, स्कूल मैगजीन, दिवाली छोटी सी हमारी बहन
साथ साथ धनतेरस पर भी मैं आप सभी को हृदय से बधाइयाँ देना चाहूँगी।
चाहिए लेखा देवाई प्रिंसिपल फंड देले आम से बाहर कर 64टा कंट्री पब्लिश
सार सार कहले बहुत भल कथा कि से 64टा कंट्री बाहर जेहेतु मु इफोना इंडियन फेडरेशन ऑफ इंटरनेशनल एसोसिएशन ऑफ कल्चरल सेक्रेटरी मुई पत्रिकार दायित्व नौची वर्ल्ड वाइड लॉन्च करबा और शेष इच्छा प्रकाश कर राजकिशोर गोता सर वार्ड आम देखिकी जीवा से कौन काम कर देखिकी जीवा माने पृथ्वी मोर
हमारे चेयरमैन सर से अनुरोध करना चाहूँगी सभा के
आपणकर राजू बाबू जे बर्तमान म्यूजिक अच्छी गोटे सूर्य महोत्सव कर आसंता डिसेम्बर 31 समग्र विश्व को परिव्याप्त एवं सूर्यकर आलोक कृपा आशीर्वाद ये डीएवी स्कूल में समग्र भारतवर्ष पृथ्वी को आलोकित कर आशा विश्वास डीएवी स्कूल आगामी दिन में समग्र विश्व को एक दिशा देखो ज्ञान एजेंसी मोर अनुभव धन्यवाद। जय जगन्नाथ वंदे उत्कल।
ये कहना चाहूँगी जो सूर्य उत्सव हो मोर एरिक्स पद्म को राजकिशोर सार कंपोज कर उद्घाटन भी हम दायित्व नहीं
सर से अनुरोध
of DAV Public School, Kalinga Nagar. No!
पिलामाने ये कार्यक्रम में जैसे बड़े की भल महाप्रभु कृपा आशीर्वाद तो मो संगे स्वर बेड़े की तबे समस्त कहबो जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय
संगोष्ठी के अंतिम पड़ाव की ओर
towards common matters relating to themselves and others. Whereas for noble and broad-minded persons, the entire world is like their own family. The entire universe is one family. Then why do we encounter problems, tragedy, and selflessness all around? Presently, competition seems to be going on between nations across the world in warrants the making of arms and ammunitions. Atom bombs to be used against each other. On the other hand, millions of people in the world die of hunger and malnutrition. Does the world instinct of passion in the world incorporates the entire creation, including the flora and fauna and all living entity around. Friends, let me ground the concept, lyrics, and music of our Ishwar child on world peace and
children more inspired and give a lot of spiritual knowledge which will take them to a truthful path. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Lalit Narayana, who is a multifaceted personality as well as a eminent which words of inspiration and legacy will continue to guide our learning students to be a successful human being in their life. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our Labour Chairman, Sumadhan Mohan Pandya sir, for his inspirational and motivational words, which will make a bright future for our upcoming generations. Which everyone shows a new ray of light to enlighten our inner intellect. Thank you, sir, from the core of my heart. I extend my sincere appreciation to our esteemed principal, Sri Balaram Mahapatra, who strived for support and inspiration behind the scenes made this event seamless and memorable. From meticulous planning to flawless execution, your dedication has been the backbone of this conclave. Thank you. I would like to thank all our supervisors for their cooperation and support. Thank you everyone who were also profoundly grateful to our coordinator and all the teachers whose generous support has not only made this event possible and successful, but also strengthened the community of literature lovers and creators. I would like to thank everyone. Thank you once again. Jai Jagannath.